And we're back for another week of the OCS, you sexy people. Welcome back. Week 10. My name's Jake Asterix, Aussie Penko. I've had a lot of sugar. This is Bradley T-Gun Seymour, and I'll tell you what, you had a pretty good weekend. You went to Smash.
That was great.
Without me.
Well, that was part of what made it so great.
Yeah.
If anyone has a chance to go to an Expo, Smash, Supernova, AppCon, anything, I highly suggest you go. But I was at Smash.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Uni Champions were also on. That's more important.
Okay, look, we'll leave T-Gun Smash for now. Uni Champs, UNSW, a big congratulations to them. 3-1 over Monash. And that was a pretty big step up, considering you beat Series, who's in the OCS, and Vans.
Also beat QT as well. QT out in the semis. So shout out to UNSW, the Sydney guys, New South Wales guys. Yeah. My boys.
They're going to China and they're going to represent the region and go up against the likes of NA and EU, the best of the best in the college circuit. However, today's about the OCS and all about our champions here. We talk about growth each and every week, and now we showcase with yesterday starting with Legacy Genesis.
They've finally become the team everyone expected them to be in week 1.
I reckon Carbon came off that Uni Championship cast on Sunday and said, all right, boys, they've cooked it, we'll get it going.
Unbelievable. I don't think that had anything to do with how he performed.
Maybe
I think they've
not.
just finally found the formula, finally found how to play the game. Maybe he forgot in his old age.
Well,
and they're making a run for the playoffs.
There is a side note, Carbon actually played Talia jungle, which I was impressed with, so a meta jungler for Carbon.
What a surprise.
None of this Riven garbage. Anyway, the game 2 was Tectonic Academy. No.
Did they win with Riven?
Yeah, but that Carbon did pretty well, I'll be honest. And Minky on Quinn. Anyway, Tectonic Academy and Bombers Academy, now they're neck and neck.
Tectonic Academy, again, another one that's running for the playoffs. And they actually, I've checked their schedule for the next 3 weeks. They have very winnable games.
Yeah.
They can end up quite easily at the 7-7 mark, 6-7 mark, and have a shot at playoffs.
And Tectonic Academy lost all their bans in this matchup here as well. And they used Wake, and I got to say, Wake has had a pretty good couple of weeks to sub for Tectonic.
He's the sub you want on your team.
He's the OPL sub as well, remember. So Tectonic Academy, moving on. QT Tigers, 5-5, and now ground 0. Not good.
They're done. I think any team 2-8 at the end of this week,
I think that's fair.
It's finished.
Hey, we'll talk about that a little bit later, because today's matchups is what's important. You may be sitting 5-5 if you're feeling good if you're QT, but after today, the matchups could change. With the first one, Mprox and Mammoth Academy.
I don't even want to think that this would be the most important for seeding. As important as it is, especially for Avant, who have started finding their stride, the one that matters most is Darkseid and Mammoth. Darkseid, they put together 2 wins in a row. If they can take down Mammoth Academy here, sure, Darkseid, they might still be outside of the playoff hunt. You know, they're a long shot, but they can play spoiler. They can play the one that really decides who does get that 6 spot, that 5 spot.
Remember, Darkseid was sitting at the very bottom of the ladder. They were considered out before it had even begun. And Darkseid are now making the run up. 2-8, you said, was not good enough. If Darkseid take the loss here against Mammoth, they'll be sitting there with ground 0, and their chances may just be over as well.
Yeah, I think as simple as this, even if it isn't mathematically you're done, it requires so much that isn't in your control that it's all gone. What you're doing then is you're playing for pride.
Yep.
You're playing to showcase your individual skill. Maybe you can get picked up by an OPL team as a sub or as a main roster player. But essentially, 2-8, it's not good enough.
Well, for these two teams, we start off with Mprox, though, and they're in a pretty comfortable position. You know and love that roster, changing the top side earlier in the split. But Youngcat is someone we will be looking at who has had a more or less consistent performance.
He's also, I wouldn't even say consistent, I'd say he'd been consistently getting better. He's becoming an option for Mprox to play through. For the first half of the season, it was all about Chaz. If Chaz did well, they won. If Chaz didn't get going, it was over.
Yeah.
But now, the past few weeks, Youngcat has been given more of I want to say the spotlight. You know, Chaz has stepped back. He's playing supportive mids. He's not playing things that require all of these resources. And Youngcat, with all these new resources, is proving to be a carry threat for Mprox.
Considering that change up for Mprox actually went well, taking out Farmer, putting in Youngcat, I think Mprox have really made a good run if they get this win, 7-3. Mammoth Academy, they're sitting 4-5 right now. Who are we looking at? Is it still Serum? Is it the Lysandra man himself?
For me, it's Pluto. For me, it's Pluto and Nausicaa.
Okay.
For, again, it was a lot of the same notes that we say about Mprox, where they were playing through their mid lane. They would pull their resources there, and if it didn't work, and they lost the game. Serum, he showcased a couple of niche picks, like Lysandra, for example. So
he's played that three times.
Yeah, it's obviously his pocket pick.
Ain't a niche anymore.
It's still niche. Just because he's good at it doesn't mean it's not niche.
Well, okay.
But it's more Pluto last week. Stepped up massively for the team, carried them across to victory. If he can do that again this week, we can see the same things we said about Mprox, which is they're a two-threat team, about Avant Academy, and it will also make a really good case for Avant Academy to get into the top 6 spots, solidify their run for a playoff seed, and move into the brackets where in best of threes you do gain a lot from having those two threats.
Yeah, that's right. Let's take a stance on this match because with Avant Academy 4 and 5, if they lose this match, they are not eliminated. It is not over Red Rover, whereas for a team like Ground Zero, for Legacy, they were facing a Dark-Sided later, facing potential elimination from that top 6 bracket. Might not be mathematical, but we're pretty confident there anyway. If you can get a win against a team like Mprox, a team that you will most likely face later on, this is a good warm-up for that best of 3, as you said.
I would say it's not even just, that they might play them in the playoffs and having that head-to-head score might matter. These two teams, their schedule for the rest of the season, difficult opponents the whole way through. There isn't a single gimme match. So,
but Avant Academy have won those difficult matchups. As we jump into the first pick and ban of OCS Week 10, Avant Academy won against Bombers, Dire Cubs, QUT, matches that people said they shouldn't win.
Yep.
They've come ahead. Is this another one of those matchups?
Well, it's so important that they have the head-to-head against all these teams as well. Because realistically, their spot is going to be a 5th, 6th spot.
Yeah.
It's kind of too late to try and make it to 3rd, to 2nd, take over like Chiefs Academy, for example.
It's curious though, isn't it, Tegan? For a
all
team
of those
that's
head-to-head wins. It can't be understated just how influential that will be coming towards, week 12, week 13.
That's right. We're getting towards the end of this massive OCS split. We jump into picks and bans and already the targeting towards Avant Academy's bottom side. Thresh taken out. Actually, at the moment, it's not even targeting. Thresh is coming back in. What am I saying? Yes, it is.
Thresh has always been a champion that can... He's never been unpickable. Okay. His kit is just so great that the numbers don't really matter. There's so much utility from it, but you are right. He's coming back into fruition. I feel that as this meta has been sort of figured out, people have got more and more accustomed to it, you go back to those picks where they just bring general utility, which is Thresh. Yep. So it makes sense that he's been banned away because people have figured out how to play against these OP champions, the Darius, the Zoe, things like that.
You know what else is OP at the moment, though? Kindred as a first pick for Mprox there. The priority, a little bit different. Fiddle and Heimer, the response for Avant Academy. Remember, it's 8.13 mid-patch changes there. So we still got some powerhouses. We still got Heimerdinger reigning supreme in the bottom side.
Well, before we even touch on Heimerdinger and how strong he is, I want to talk about Kindred because this has been more recent. And this is something that's come in because people have realized it is strong, but it does have a lot of problems. And when I say that, I mean you can play against her quite easily. We've seen both in the LCK and in other international regions, they pick Gragas as a great counter pick. Any sort of displacement to get her out of her ultimate is obviously very important. You can also pick things with it, like Pyke, like Kha'Zix, like Darius. Anything that can execute and get resets from it. So that's what I'll be thinking that Mprox will steer towards in the second draft phase is go for something like the Darius top to synergize really well with Kindred.
But also, if you have a composition with high crowd control, as this Graves seems to be the obvious response, we'll actually be taking the challenge. High crowd control, as I said, I mean, the Kindred might not even get Lamb's Respite off. Stunned up, nowhere to go, and you're like, I can't use my ultimate, I'm already dead. That's what Heimerdinger excels in.
You need a great layering of crowd control for that to happen. You need to 100 to 0 the Kindred.
Scarecrow.
Inside the crowd control.
You know what they say about Fiddle?
No.
He's great in his field. Hey, let's move
bad.
On. No, it's not.
That's bad.
Bad?
You're going to be a great dad one day.
I can't wait. I'm already making
phenomenal dad.
I'm like 23 and I'm already making dad jokes. Oh, I just said my age on air. People probably thought I was 28. Like, oh, this guy's retiring soon. 4 more years.
How about we go back to the game?
Sure. Hey, Tegan.
Braum is a counter pick to the Fiddle Heimer lane. I'm not a big fan of this. I think he's going to get poked out, and as much as you say, mid-game he's going to be great. You can stop a lot of the damage Graves puts out, a lot of the damage from Heimerdinger in the team fights. That laning phase so far, pretty much no matter what Mprox pick, they can go with something like Vlad, which we've seen, Vlad Rise, the AP players down there. But even then, I think that Heimerdinger Fiddle, they have real pressure to not only just win the 2v2, but win any 2v3 where the Kindred comes down. So it's pretty important to pick your bot laner here and have in mind that you're either conceding the lane and just saying, you know what, we'll play the mid game. You can pick something like Kai'Sa and say that. or know that you have to camp that lane. Have your jungler in there 24/7.
And Mammoth Academy, they've run away with early leads. That's one thing. With Mprox as well, stability in their lanes, moving towards a very focused team fight in the mid-game. Mammoth Academy, they've walked away with some of these lanes, and that's what's made the difference. There's been some targeted bans, but across the board, I'm actually quite surprised. We see the Lucian taken away, and Series Wukong has been locked in.
Well,
maybe not Series.
It is Series' Wukong, but Pope's playing it.
Yeah.
I thought they were just hovering. I thought it was the classic O's hover of Wukong, but
look at that
they
team
have
fight.
just locked it in. I think their team fight is incredible. Wukong is a champion that personally I hate playing against him. In solo queue, it is a chore. But in my head, they're overcommitting. They don't have a real tanky presence in this team so far. Every champion they have, yes, it deals out so much damage, but there's no tank.
That could still be a Wukong mid.
It could be, yes.
So, something that has
and then
been
you take,
rising in
like,
priority.
Mundo top?
Yeah. I mean, Mundo's still, the pick's still open. How to Mprox round this one up, though, T-Gun, because they don't really have a tank. Brom is the front line, but Brom is not going to be enough of a front line.
Well, you don't need a tank when you have Kindred.
That's true.
You have persistence
exactly
through
right.
fight
So
without
you pick up a
tankiness.
Riven instead.
And that's I don't want to say that this is a personal pick, the saying let me play Riven, but that's what it looks like.
Okay.
That's what it looks like. It's come down to the last pick. He said, "Hey, I just want to pick Riven."
Do you remember when Champs
And
like
go
was
for it.
respected as Shen gets finally locked in?
What do you mean respected?
I mean, do you remember when picks used to be normal? When we used to sit here and go, "There's the Galio."
This is your old age showing.
Yeah, that's right.
Let these kids get off your lawn.
These bloody youngins now picking Wukong mid.
I'm a fan of Wukong mid. If there was a player that was going to pick it, it's Sarah, right? We talk about the guy that's picking niche things, that's picking
niche.
unique champions like Lysandra and just saying, I'm going to play this no matter what.
Are you American? Did you say Lysandra? Lysandra. Lysandra. Say it.
No,
It's not Lysandra.
it doesn't matter.
Not Sandra.
Oh my god.
Sorry, continue. Yeah, niche pick.
The man who didn't know what gratuitous was is now
Hang on.
nitpicking my pronunciation.
Hang on. Gratuitous is a word. That's
Still
the end of
doesn't
my
know.
sentence. That's the end of my
know.
sentence. Gratuitous is a word. Hey, sorry, Tegan, I did cut you off. I just got really excited that you said Lysandra.
Oh my god.
People think we hate each other, and I now know why. Into week 10, we're about to
Oh god.
hit each other.
It's gone wrong. But you know what has gone right, in my opinion, is the draft for Mprox. It's a lot of very strong picks. They have very clear teamwork in mind. You know, use that Kindred ulti. Make sure you get a lot of value out of it. You don't need a big tank when you have invulnerability, much like when you pick something like Taric. You would just use that ultimate to get a lot of value out of it with the Master Yi. And that seems to be the same sort of feeling from the Mprox draft.
I'll be curious how the laning phases go. Because Serum and Chad's going to be my matchup to watch. Pope and Thean might be a little unstable at times up there, but remember Shen's damage got nerfed a while ago. And Shen's 1-on-1, his presence in lane isn't as great as before, but we're going to have to find out. Mprox, Riven in the top side, but Mammoth Academy, Wukong in the mid.
As cool as it is, seeing these unique picks,
And
the
it is
Riven, the
damn
Wukong,
cool.
well, the big worry for me is Mprox's bot side. Every time I either play against Heimer or see it played in competitive, the Heimerdinger, they win the 2v2 and the 2v3, but they might have caught him right now.
Pluto, stop it! What are you doing, you animal? Why gets burst blood? And that just looked way too easy.
I'm just going to give it to Mprox. That's brilliant. You know that Heimerdinger, much like Zyra, loves being in lane really early to set up for the laning phase. Get the turrets down early, get that lane dominance from level 1. But Pluto being disrespectful, saying, you know what, we just expect you to do the standard thing, walks into the lane brush late and is punished for it,
Well,
rightfully
he's wearing a
so.
hazmat suit, T-Gun. The hazmat guy always goes in first.
No?
Yes?
No, hazmat guys are called after someone else goes in and determines the problem.
Well, maybe he knew there was a problem in there anyway.
Then why did he walk into it?
He wanted to be flamboyant. He just
my
wanted to see what
gosh.
was going on.
I tell you what, nothing makes me happier than seeing Heimerdinger die, though.
Yeah.
As
lot
fun
of
as it is
people would
playing with a Heimerdinger, because you just get so much pressure in your lane, he is annoying to play against at the best of times.
But you know what? That first blood went to Y, and I don't think he set his mark on a Heimerdinger that early. Oh, hang on. I'd actually be curious to that. You can't set the mark that early, can you?
I'm not certain.
I'm not a big Kindred player. Actually, no, I used to be. I'm not sure. We'll get someone to confirm that. Quick click. Is that a mark? That's a mark? I think that's a mark.
Either way, even just the first blood alone is more than enough. He's got the double jungle item already set up. I would be very surprised if Ions is able to keep pace with him after this first blood, because Y was able to get the recall off, get the extra utility. And we already know Kindred is a very quick jungler.
Yeah,
Pushes through the jungle, looks for trades, looks for fights. Now, they know where the Graves is. They already have a ward down up there. They saw that he started red side. He's went towards the blue now for the trade, which Kindred has mirrored.
What is that skin?
But as long as Theon pays respect to where the Graves is, which I hope he does,
I'm sure he will.
then Mammoth Academy, as far as jungle pathing goes, as far as early game goes, seems like they're falling apart. And we were saying before the game even started, that was how they were getting their victory. They were getting it by snowballing early and keeping hold of the lead.
And I can confirm as well, just for anyone, I'm sure chat's probably like, no, he can't do it this early. Y has completed 0 marks, so he did not get one on Heimerdinger, but still invading. As Y takes away the Gromp, already taken the blue. He got scuttled down on this bottom side as well, and maybe now looking to make an impact in this Heimerdinger and Fiddle lane.
Middle, both just use both their summoners. I know we didn't catch it on screen, but
Serum almost
Zoe
dead.
and Serum, both no summoners left. Serum almost dead, all corrupting potions used, and now being forced off a huge wave mid.
Wow.
Now this is something people don't really think about when it comes to laning phases. A big wave like that, which was essentially a wave and a half, now 2.5 waves. EXP completely removed off the mid laner. It's a massive swing. Chaz is now way up in EXP, and given how aggressively Zoe roams, that means for the side laners, there's even more pressure already on the map, especially when he gets to level 6.
I guess now's not the time to ask you how this lane interacts.
The mid lane or the top lane?
The mid lane?
Well, it feels like most Zoe lanes where Zoe is going to farm pretty aggressively, look for the bubbles, look for the long-range paddle stars to poke out the enemy laner. But it seems like both of them just went in, took a battle, and I want to say the victor was Zoe purely because of Y's positioning in the jungle.
Well, Serum getting bullied out, doesn't have the TP, Ignite on both these mid laners, but Chaz able to hold after shoving out the wave. Immediately you saw a small response there from Y, who helps push up the wave, but he's gone back to his bot side. He's gone for a finishing up of his clip with the first Ocean Drake as well. Bot side priority. Smart on a team composition like this, especially we have a Riven in the top side.
Now, we have to make sure people know this is 8-13. This is before the teleport changes coming in 8-14.
Yep.
So for both mid laners to take Ignite is pretty important to highlight, because mid laners, they still generally take teleport. You do want that utility, especially coming in the mid game. So for both of them to take Ignite is a real statement that they both really want to fight and like maintain some sort of dominance in that mid lane, maintain the ability to be aggressive when it comes to both the 1v1 situation, which we saw them try, and when they roam as well.
Don't you love when you get a leash to scuttle? Why, it's been set in the right direction as well. And there's the first mark. So that one will exist. And ward coverage being cleaned up there by Mprox. We have to say that Y, it's jungle style, maybe something we haven't highlighted. Someone who in the past has played Lee Sin, has played very aggro junglers. This meta, Mprox suits them very well as well. 1k up at 5 minutes in the game.
Well, as aggro as the jungle pick is, it's also about getting the lane priority. You see top lane and mid lane for Mprox both being able to rotate and help Y when he goes for contested objectives like that Scuttlecrab. Now he can freely invade the top side as well. Anytime you have lane priority, especially when you have both the mid and top side, for example, you can freely go in for any brawl you want, because it doesn't matter if you win the 1v1, because you know you have that backup on the way. And for Mammoth Academy to follow, for Serum or Pope to follow if that brawl in the jungle does happen, it costs them so much.
Turn their sights on the mid lane. No level 6 there. Drowsy is the Wukong. Flash forward. Chaz going to die here. The burn down. And Aeon's a gank well deserved.
Very much just a product of the fight that we missed. The second you know the flashes aren't available, the junglers, they have to be hovering in the mid-side. And why wasn't? He was caught sleeping, Ion's in the right place, right as the wave starts getting close to crashing. Collapse on Chaz, get the kill, and sort of equalize that lane where we thought Chaz already had a pretty significant lead.
This is going to stabilize things a little bit as well. They're going to talk about lane priority, but I want to talk about priority in the top side. Pope.
He's going to dive.
Oh, what a flash. And Carbon would be proud if he was a Shen player.
I think he'd be more proud of Theon, given what we've seen Carbon pick recently.
Yeah. I guess so. But Pope, remember, he doesn't have TP to this lane. Thean can shove this out. Topside priority, not there. Instead, Graves goes down, denies the mark from Kindred. And why? He might lose that, but the topside going to be winning out.
Already lost the flash. Like you said, doesn't have teleport. So if Pope opts to ultimate to, say, bottom lane, that top tower will die very quickly. So any sort of cross-map play from the Shen needs to result in a tower for Avant Academy. Or even if they win the fight, they'll probably still be on the losing end in terms of gold swing.
Well, at the moment for Young Cat and Corporal getting shoved in. Finally, this lane stabilizes after Pluto's earlier mistake. But the Fiddleheimer, it's incredible the combinations we've seen. We've gotten to this point where we now go, Fiddleheimer is one of the greatest combos. And I would agree. Hang on. Pause there.
Not just greatest, it's the most realistic to
Stolen
pick.
away, why? Oh, Aeons. Got a smite.
Again, I would say that was due to the mid priority. Chaz is pushing up. Chaz has complete control of the bush and who can react faster. So why, even though he doesn't have control of the crab, more than happy to stay and take the smite battle, comes out ahead.
I think immediately this early game's given us a bit to think about with the Avant Academy matching quite well. But Thean, is he starting to lose this trade? You'd say no. And eventually, Thean's going to come back. Ravenous Hydra, not going to be the first item, going straight for the Black Cleaver. Aeons, be careful, you've just walked into a brush. Y's waiting for you, stand united immediately. And Y has Lamb's Respite. He's going to pop it down. Pope saving the Shadow Dash. He gets it at the end, but a great collateral damage. Ignite there from Chaz. He's ticking Pope down, and he will eventually, no, does not find his end. Immediately, Avant Academy, they get a perfect trade. 1 for 0.
You know, I was saying before that trade happened that anytime Pope looked for the ultimate play, looked to help his team out, he would suffer in the top lane. But Thean initially tried to cancel the Shen ulti, and when that didn't happen, tried to track down and get into that fight, extend the fight out, and get the trade kills. And because he's done that, yes, he's still going to gain a little bit of CS, but there was no huge cost for that Shen ultimate. So Pope getting active and not getting punished very hard, very important for the first Shen ultimate of the game.
Smarter moves from Avant Academy, something you normally say against other opponents, other these lower tier opponents, is they've traveled their way up through the ladder. Emprox are now sitting third at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, after yesterday's games.
You are correct.
They get this win, and they secure their spot in third for this week.
I wouldn't say secure yet. Other people could still join them in tie.
Well, Mr. Teague and Seymour, they'll be at 7 points. I don't think anyone else can join them on 7.
I'm not quite sure.
Oh, hang on, sorry, Diacubs can. Diacubs can. We're all wrong sometimes.
You got me there. I thought you were right.
All right, but still, they can secure a spot third, equal third.
It would have been the first time for everything there.
Yeah. So for Emprox, this win is so important, especially when Avant Academy, they're taking down opponents a lot bigger than they are. To take down someone like the Diacubs, was it when they had Fire Panther?
I don't think so. I think it was when they had Topoon.
Okay.
Again, you're testing my memory.
We were both here and we can't remember. God, we're good.
Well, we know they won. That's all that matters. And Diacubs, they've been a formidable team.
Yeah.
So Topoon, Fire Panther, doesn't matter. All that matters is they have that head-to-head.
So it's a bit of sneaky right now. Aeons, no vision whatsoever from Emprox. It's going to take away the Ocean Dragon to represent our beautiful region. And mid lane has no inside of this whatsoever. Top side of the map, Y's there, but not even the Rift Herald going to be started as now he's taking a second gander at it. Ocean Drake for Avant Academy.
That's a difficult one when you don't really know that they're on the Dragon. It's hard to pull that trigger and start the Rift Herald now. You see why on that Rift Herald right now trying to get the answer. It's still a little sketchy, but I can't really see him not getting this. Riven still has priority in the top lane. Again, Chaz got a good amount of presence in the mid lane, so even if he did get collapsed on, I would still say Emprox would probably win that fight.
Ejim and Carbon were having a chat about this on the University Championship. And they said, you know, what lane do you think Rift Herald's worth? I think was the conversation, putting any lane but mid. Or what is your input in putting it any lane but mid? Do you rate it? Do you rate it top side?
You need to get at least a tower, preferably 2. Now, the reason for dropping it top here, even though they will likely only get 1 tower, if that, is to unleash the Riven on the map. Make it easier to either kill the Shen or pressure him into positions where he's going to lose more than just a wait.
Well, he's going to hit the eye. Turret barely damaged, or sorry, barely standing, I'll say. And then we'll push him for first turret blood. So White getting something on the map. That gold lead extends once more. And let's see where Thean goes from here, because the response is sitting bot.
Now, interestingly enough, they had to burn Rift Herald to get that tower, whereas Avant Academy, they just walk into bot lane, take it with brute force. So it seems like that hasn't really panned out.
Oh no! Ignite dropped down. Lambs, despite the response, Y is in a difficult position. Won't even stay for the heal. The Ignite goes over. Stand United from Pope, but Y's just tracked around. No warding. Y, he's escaped.
That was a really greedy Shen ultimate. That was a Shen ultimate to get an assist, essentially.
Yeah.
And that is not what you want to see.
Go. Fleeing again, collateral damage, silence down. Chaz, the Ignite's going to pop. He'll go gold, but 3 members are there. A good Fisher, but Chaz should be meeting his end. Corporal goes in to save the day. The teleport's already here. Avant Academy, 5 members now. They've found Corporal, who blocks it off and just dies to save his life. But Thean's jumped in. He'll get one as a trade. Although the jungler eventually goes down, he's still tracking back. Thean and Serum will meet head-to-head, but that'll be the end of it. A big trade, 3 for 1.
Great play by Avant Academy there. They get there first, they initiate the fight, and then as it goes on longer, Heimerdinger is happier and happier. He's putting down his turrets, and Mprox are still fighting into where Avant Academy are, so they're just reaping the benefit of having that, I want to say just forethought. They knew that the collapse from Mprox didn't matter, because they could set up and just keep this long fight going on, and Avant Academy, they were looking a little sketchy, you know, losing that Rift Herald, Riven getting out of lane ahead, but instead, taking a fight proactively, paying off pretty big.
They're able to bruise that mid lane Tara, but Tegan, when are we going to talk about why jumping in at 0 health and doing absolutely nothing in that fight?
He didn't really jump in, he got jumped off.
Well, why again? Hey, what'd you say? Getting jumped on? Yeah, that's not good.
That's exactly what just happened. And it was all of the thing of, that's a lot of damage.
Chaz it up.
It's all about teams not knowing when to cut their losses.
Yeah.
They were engaged on, Chaz was dead before that fight started. That should have been it. Mprox should have said, yep, that sucks, but we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna hold them at the tower, make sure they don't get anything else off it, wait for Chaz to respawn. Instead, they tried to turn around the fight, tried to right the ship, and instead, they lose more and more. Now the gold is pretty much even.
You've just given Graves so many kills, so many resources. 4, 1, and 2 now, almost onto the second item. And we've got a Devourer, a Kindred. Y needs his second item. Devourer, at the moment, 1 item. It's not really a power spike. It's just hot garbage.
Well, first of all, yes, Graves is fed, but you have a great champion to deal with that in Brawl. So,
yeah,
obviously a problem, but one that Mprox have an answer to.
Oh,
you say it's
oh, he's going in. Pope, run away. A good flash away. Thean, actually, is he going to get outplayed? One more hit. Who's coming up?
Fiddle's coming.
Tracking there. Pope is low, but Thean now between turrets. This is not going to end well. He goes back on a Norzka. A good fear. Silence down. The Aftershock already popped, and Thean's like, what do I do here? Pope's going to go back in. A taunt that lands, and a big misplay there from Thean.
I don't want to say a misplay. I want to say great play from Pope. You saw another great flash from him.
Second time.
We saw it earlier.
Oh.
Chaz caught again by Serum.
The Cyclone doing so much damage. Flash forward. Chaz pops the Ghost. As well as the flash, he gets away.
Action all over the map reminds me of a Mammoth Academy game where they're just taking fights everywhere. And again, this is benefiting Avant Academy. They win the topside duel where we thought the Riven would be stronger. They try to catch Chaz, doesn't happen, but they're aggressive in mid lane.
Corruption, Tegan, they're underneath the turret. It's still there. Norzka may pop the Fiddle ultimate. The turret goes down anyway. And what a great ultimate it is. Norzka cleans up the fight with the rest of Avant Academy.
That was not a tower you try and defend as Mprox. It was a bait tower. It was already chunked down, but they go in, try and get the fight again.
What's going on?
They're trying to save things. They're trying to sort of pull back these errors that they've made and say, no, we can win this. It's still good. It's still fine. But they need to just cut it off. Just say, whatever, this sucks. We lost something. We'll figure it out later. Instead of compounding on these things. And now Avant Academy, who were behind early, now have just built this 3,000 gold lead out of nothing but just proactive fights that Mprox are reacting to a little too slowly.
Remember that Avant Academy were a team based on growth. At the start of the split, I think, Tegan, was it you who talked to the support staff of Avant Academy? Or at least we sat down and said, this team is built on growth. There are no names in this roster whatsoever. We look at Mprox and we say the complete opposite. Young Cat, Chaz. I've seen Corporal around. Y from Regicide. We had Dodo, who I've seen in the solo queue scene as well. And right now, Mprox, they are being smacked. It's a 3K Gold League. Dragon's up now as well. That is a double ocean for a team with the Doorbell as well as a Shen. There is so much sustained damage too. So At the moment, Mprox, they're in a difficult position. They're giving away more and more objectives. It's going to be a Cloud coming up next.
Well, the most important part of that double ocean is it makes Shen's life easier in the side lane.
Yep.
We've seen Riven poke him down a little bit, back out, and then go for the all-in. And now if that happens again, Shen's going to heal up so much health that it's even easier for him to withstand the pressure.
That is a Moby's Wukong, by the way. So if you missed that one, he might not have his first item, but boy, can he run fast.
This is the most solo queue build I've seen from a mid-Wukong ever.
Well, and considering we don't have a mid-Wukong every day here in the OCS, I'd have to say it's now an OCS build.
Well, it's essentially what you're trying to do is just catch someone out in the jungle, in a side lane, in transition.
Yeah.
Your whole goal is go in, assassinate someone. Much like you would on Zed, Kha'Zix, is you just want to isolate someone, try and get rid of them before the fight starts, which isn't what you would really expect from Wukong. You think of Wukong, you think of his ultimate and how troubling that is for teams to deal with in team fights, but Serum playing it completely differently. Going for the picks, we've seen him try and get Chaz multiple times, and it's doing work for Mammoth Academy.
I think right now they've just got to keep this up because both teams are going to struggle from playing from behind. Thean is trying to hold with these challenges, but Pope can survive now. He's got the Titanic Hydra. He's able to push out a wave in pretty much a couple of hits. Black Cleaver finally picked up the Thean and these one-item power spikes. Let's see where the change comes forward. Pope still has the bottom lane turret. And right now, it's even harder for Kindred to find her way ahead. Look at the mark. You cannot go that deep in the jungle.
This is such a difficult spot for Thean. You want to be able to just crush the 1v1 on the side. Force Pope to group. But at this point, Pope is almost unkillable by Thean. He's got Tabi, he's got Titanic already.
Some would say he's blessed.
He's so extremely strong. I'm ignoring that. Whereas Thean, he has not scaled. You do sort of need to snowball to get effectiveness out of Riven.
They might have found Aeon. Serum is there to back him up. Y is looking for the pick. T-Gun, close call.
This might be a fight that Pope wins here if he keeps
Pope
going.
can definitely win this. Ultimate pop by Thean. He now turns it, looking for the stun damage, and Pope will take one more hit. Thean wins it out.
He walked into the auto.
He did.
He walked back in. I mean, Thean still had flash, so he's probably killing him regardless, but you would have burned the summoner.
Oh, that's a big pick, though. A Riven getting a solo kill. That means bottom lane turret of Mammoth Academy are going to go top and trade this off. And although a trade right now is okay, it sits better for Mprox.
When you're behind, making trades is all you want to do.
We teach people that weekly.
Take as many trades as you can, stall the game out as long as you can, and suddenly gold lead does not matter. And if Mprox can start doing that, they'll find their way back in the game. The kill on Riven, we were saying before, well, I was mostly.
Okay, righto.
Riven, when he's behind, is useless. He needs to snowball. But getting that solo
Riven
kill...
is a woman.
Sorry, my bad. She's useless.
Thank you.
Well, not anymore. Gets a solo kill, and now, huge CS lead.
Yeah.
The thought changed there. You know, Pope went in because he had won the fights before. Now, Thean winning the fight, that changes how Pope approaches the lane.
Well, Thean wanted to take on Serum, but the Stand United brings everyone in, almost takes Serum out, the Ignite picking, and a shutdown goes on to Chaz. He's now got his first kill of the game, but he's been taken out, and although Mprox want to find these picks, Mammoth Academy always going to be rotating first.
I was about to say, you're fine with that trade as Thean. If you get the kill and the Shen ultimate baited out as well, that's great. Take the 1-for-1. But Chaz also falls down. Mammoth Academy, again, proactive, aggressive with their Shen with their rotations.
I feel like right now Pluto has his ultimate available, but a Glacial Fissure, Sonya's burn, Lamb's Respite as well, but Pluto's going to stand in it. He heals up too. Young Cat may get Nausicaa, but Aeon's tracking in the backside only because of the stun. He still lives up. Brom almost saves his AD carry. But my boy, oh boy, Aeon shows what he's made of.
Young Cat burns down to the graves and a Heimerdinger missile from downtown. The absolute max range. The tower barely stays alive, but now it's a bait tower.
Yeah.
You can't stand there and expect to have the support.
You hate
that can
bait
be
towers.
It's because they pay off so often. People will show up to try and defend this tower on 5% health.
Yeah.
And at that point, you have to just think of it as already dead. Because you cannot sit there and make a last stand. People will dive you, hit the tower twice, it falls over, and suddenly you're way out of position.
And I know for that fight, Mprox still lost out. The turret's still standing there, but it'll be taken down with a swift breeze. But Young Cat's got 3 kills now. Young Cat's almost got 3 items now as well. So although Mprox are losing the majority of resources when these fights go over, These items getting built up on key members like Youngcat, on Chaz as well, might make a difference when we get towards that challenging Baron phase. Because then look at the vision as well. There's a lot of vision control around that Baron pit. To get out there, Avant Academy have to step into dangerous territory.
I was about to say the most important part isn't just the item differences, but it's the vision control.
Oh.
And if that's where Emprox start focusing their resources, build that vision both around Baron and in the top side, in Avant Academy's red side, that's when it'll start making sense.
That's why you don't pick Union Jack Fiddle, the worst Fiddle skin in the game. That's not how the damage came across, but it's still the worst skin in the game. Like, out of all the skins, Surprise Party Fiddle, Spectral Fiddle's horrible was the one I have. Fiddle Me Timbers. What's the other one? The Dark Candy Fiddlesticks.
Maybe he was just happy with how well England did at the World Cup this year.
Maybe Nozca's a Pom. I don't know.
I'm going to go with it's a World Cup related skin at this point.
You reckon?
Yeah, for sure.
But England, they only came home. Chaz caught out again. Serum, a flash forward, but Aeons gets it anyway. He'll drop the Ignite. Turret's not able to take him down. Avant Academy. And here it comes.
Moby's paying off for Serum. Again, finds another pick. Again on Chaz. And
with that crazy skin.
This could potentially result in Baron if Emprox don't react quickly enough. Pope has ultimate. But can he get in there? Can he help defend? They had another pick.
Out again. What is going on with Emprox, Tegan? Avant Academy, they're sitting in a buffet.
I want to say that they should start looking for Baron now. They have to get on it, look to potentially turn off it, but at least start it up, which is what they've done. Fiddle can tank this for a very long time. And while Avant Academy are on it, sure, Emprox can look to steal with Y. They can look to fight, but Avant Academy, they should look to turn and fight.
Pluto's altered though. What's he going to do with it? Nothing. That sucks. Oh, it just resets, doesn't it?
Yeah, that feels like the worst of both worlds there. They did start up the Baron. They started the bait, but they didn't turn and fight, and they didn't commit to the Baron. They were being really conservative, and instead of gaining something off those picks, they do what I was talking about, a couple weeks ago, which is where they won these fights, but they're not getting objectives. They're not getting anything off it. They're just winning fights for the sake of, hey, we won a fight.
This is, of course, always a cop-out, is it that inexperience once again? Whereas Emprox, decision-making hasn't been that great this game. So if we're comparing experience to decision-making, I think I'll be very wrong, especially in this game. But Avant Academy picking what is the right move to make objective-wise, they might be getting the picks, but it's like, hey, what else are we getting with this?
Well, there's also something to be said about maybe they're not setting up for these picks, but they're being gifted it. They've set up this vision to control an area, and then someone just gets caught out of position.
Speaking of which, Thean, this time it's him. Aeon's maybe 8-2, but that's a Riven. They should find him anyway. Rushing back, Thean almost outplays. He burns a flash and goes down.
Thean, again, trying to make the best of a bad situation. Goes for the trade. Isn't able to kill Ions. Like you said, there was an 8-2, now 9-2 Graves. He's dishing out a lot of damage.
He's got 3 items. See, that's insane. He's a full item ahead of Y. And if we can toggle that gold for a second, Mr. Observer Man. No? Okay, fair enough. We'll just pretend. It's a lot of gold between the two.
Well, at this point, though, I said before, they're getting kills and not doing anything with it. Avant Academy, as you see, they get a pick and they do something with it. They take down the dragon, they take back control of the Baron area, and they solidify this gold lead. Every time you do get a pick, you need to make something of it, which is what Avant Academy is doing right now. Whereas when Emprox has found picks, it hasn't transitioned into anything.
Well, right now for Avant Academy, I'm going to question how they progress over the next 10 minutes. It's pretty key here as Emprox still hover around the Baron. They're not letting this one go down. Avant Academy trying to sneak it away, T-Gun. But they're just being forced off once again.
It's something that you have to be thinking about doing when you have Heimerdinger. You do Baron so quickly that you might as well just throw in a couple of attempts.
You can also hold it there as well.
There's nothing else for you to do on the map as well. You've taken vision control already. You've taken the dragon.
Oh no.
Braum now caught out.
The Unbreakable will help a bit of that damage, but Aeons pops a Youmu's chasing now. Flash forward, collateral damage. Aeons gets nothing. Youngcat may be low, but that's about it. Chaz, meanwhile, Serum's found him once more, and that is a solo kill for the mid laner.
Chaz is being just hung out to dry right now. Serum, that was brilliant, that bait, but
it's not going to work
still
out.
Not
GA.
work.
Nausicaa's here, though, but can he save his mid laner? Yes. So Serum GA popped as a response.
I just want to say he stood there and just stood still. Tried to bait out as if it was a clone.
The classic Wukong
I love it.
strat. But Mammoth Academy, while all that messy stuff's going on, they get mid-turret. Now changed and stand united on Aeons, but the fear again taunts it up. Theon doing nothing. Glacial Fissure will hit too, but is this a good position? Timing there from Theon was absolutely immaculate, and Emprox get one. Mammoth Academy, they're on the chase of Way. They'll get the response kill, but they hold out for now, and maybe Mammoth Academy could walk somewhere else.
What a perfect ultimate by Theon there.
Like, what's the fighting game technique? Frame perfect. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Youngcat found Nausicaa here. Ion's close to help though.
Over and on the side. Will Youngcat lose his life as a response? Almost survives, but a 1 versus 1. Now Corporal chasing out Aeons, and the fiesta never ends.
They want to chase him down, but I don't think they have the speed.
Pretty fast.
I think Aeons is fine. He's
going
out.
to flip over the wall.
No, he's just trying to clear vision.
Okay, all right.
The whole battle right now is making sure that you can answer when Mammoth Academy start Baron, when they get the Heimer turrets down. Because if you don't answer quickly, Baron will disintegrate. It dies so fast. They have such a high damage team. We were saying it before the game started. They didn't really have tanks. They had a lot of damage. And if they get left alone on Baron, it will go down instantly. And even if it is up to a smite battle,
I love that.
you have the level 16 Greaves, level 13 Kindred. It's not even a 50-50.
When you see a Wukong running into lane with Mobies, he's so fast. And then he just stops, like the sudden movement. You're like, oh my lord, he's coming for me. Maybe Pope has something to fear now as 2 members are down the bot side. No one else to help, but Pope is so tanky. He'll just flash over the wall. Theon's going to commit though. Not going to let him get the blast cone. And guess who followed him? It was Theon, baby. And that's his 3rd kill.
He was caught a bit deep, but they've started up Baron instantly, and only 3 people can really respond. Do Mammoth Academy commit?
Oh.
I don't think they should.
I mean, Chaz is bursting down. Corporal walks into the pit. 2K now. Chains of Corruption misses, and Mammoth Academy, they get the Baron, but Emprox, they want to stop them. Fiddle even ults out the pack, and Pluto might be the only response here. He'll go gold, but Youngcat and Chaz are here, and the response for Baron is 1 dead member. Oh,
1 person for Baron.
Considering Pope.
2, I guess, but Pope's death was the catalyst that gets them Baron, so yeah, we'll call it 2. Is well worth it. The game was slowing down a little bit. Mammoth Academy, they were stalling out without the Baron. They weren't finding any more objectives. Now with Baron, they can go run it down mid, set up the Heimer turrets, and there isn't much Emprox can do to answer.
Well, they hit this turret for now before everyone regroups, and you can see, look at the flank here, Tegan. Serum is wanting a pick somewhere, but then recreates his direction, goes to the bot side, and he's so fast. If you want to pick him off, he will escape.
At that point, he's just trying to play it safe. Get out. Don't look for the hero play. You don't need to.
Speed. Can we have a look, Mr. Observer, if
with Mobies, probably in the realm of 430.
499.
499.
It's almost 5.
Holy moly.
499. It's like putting a price tag on, and it's really 5. But it's just, you can't give him that 1 movement speed. Fair enough.
Now, Mammoth Academy, they need to set up their sides and then group up. You can leave Shen off to the side, sure. But you don't want to do the 1-3-1 thing.
Yeah.
As great as Serum has been in the side lane, we've seen him catch Chaz time and time again. That is unnecessary at this point. You don't want to sit in the 1-3-1 and give Emprox the ability to engage and win a fight. That's one of the few ways they can defend the Baron and defend the pressure that will come from Mammoth Academy at this point. So, set up, leave the Shen off to his own, and group up with your 4 members strong. And Emprox, even if they find Pope here, they're going to lose at least a tower, if not an inhibitor turret.
Because Wise committed to the chase, but Pope gets out unscathed as it is. At
That's
half
turret.
Well, got double ocean, bottom side, as you said, Mammoth Academy finally make a move. And Emprox just caught, unaware as usual, making the wrong decision.
Look at Y right now. He's being so greedy. He's went to his top side mark.
That's a burn and
Fiddle
a
gets
half.
caught.
Emprox may get 1, but what's the response? Still ready to go in. The whirlwind knocks everybody up, and that's a cyclone and a half. It's like being in Northern Territory during summer. Or maybe it's Queensland. I don't really experience Australia. One's gone down, then comes to the backside. Can Emprox change it? It looks like he can. He's doing the old carbon. He gets 1. Serum is so low. Theon wants to turn it around, but if Serum goes in, he's dead. Pope with the taunt, Pluto with the damage, but there goes Serum anyway. And Emprox's top laner will just save the inhibitor.
I'm not quite sure he's saved it yet. Pluto takes it very quickly. If he can get forward and set up turrets, it will go down.
They've left it, okay.
3 for 3. Yes,
Theon
it's
maybe
an
saved
even
the
trade,
game.
but That was a catalyst from Y being so greedy. He was spotted going for that topside mark. And in return, Mammoth Academy, they go in bot side. Yes, Nausicaa was caught at the start, but they commit to it. They dive the turret. They take the turret really early as well. 3 for 3, not the greatest trade, but you come out with the inhibitor. You come out with the advantage, and now they catch him as well.
Do that. These blind walks into the jungle. How many times? It started with Pluto at the beginning of the game. I think I've seen 5. So let's stop now.
Well, that one's a little different. That one's because they just took the inhibitor. You assume they're resetting. So he wants to get vision as fast as he can, potentially contest the Infernal Drake that's now being taken by Mammoth Academy. And Mammoth Academy do the wise thing. They think on that next level, wait in the bush for him, take him down, get the Infernal Drake, spawn the Elder Drake, get that timer ticking as well. Now the next siege, again, if Mammoth Academy get to the point where they have set up, they have the Heimerdinger turrets ready, Emprox lose that fight. So they need to be proactive, look for the picks, get Chaz out early, and find someone like Ions right now, being greedy, taking away jungle camps. When
Is it greedy though? Because he's 12 and 3. Aeons is almost 2 items ahead.
Yes, it is. Like you just said, he's already 2 items ahead.
He's about to be full build though, T-Gun. It's a BF sword.
But his team had just reset. If there was a time for someone to get caught, it's when 4 of your teammates are running out of the base.
Through that as Pluto uses the Hextech ultimate grenade. And gets a pick. That turret is getting him the wolf camp. Can we just go up for a second? It got the whole wolf camp.
It's a strong turret.
Oh, Chaz, can he find the Fiddlesticks again? Nausicaa has been caught out a couple of times here, and it's the saving grace for Chaz and for Emprox so far. But the siege continues as Chaz not doing any damage to anyone else. The turret being sieged, and Y is struggling here. Even Chaz, they only just push them off.
Look at where Theon is, though, looking for this flank. Emprox know they can't simply wait. Mammoth Academy do the smart thing. They catch him on the rotation, look to get a little bit more ward pressure. Nausicaa, again, he's a little out of position, but that's what you have to do as Fiddle. You have to be off to the side, look for those surprise ultimates and get in there and be useful instead of just running with your team and trying to be this 5-man unit.
He's found Pluto once again. Is the zone just going to come through? No target over to Aeons. Now pushing forward. Y gone too far forward. Once again, collateral damage blows him up. And Corporal in a bad position too. Serum may be low, but Nausicaa has just turned Chaz into a bit of a mushroom for the time being. A double kill to the graves. Chaz misses once more. And Pope on the flank. Theon there. Can he do the carbon once again? A 4-man stun. Not able to come through. And Theon has just dropped. Also dropping his Serum. And Emprox on their last legs as it's a 4 for 2.
Just Chaz and Corporal up, and I don't think they're going to be able to hold this one. Too many members of Mammoth Academy left up, too strong. They're going to take the game, and we were talking about it before. They needed this victory to have playoff hopes.
What a surprise, though.
Another head-to-head victory against a top team that is going to be so important for them in the coming weeks.
Mammoth Academy just took a win over Emprox. Let that sink in a little bit. It's like opening the door and seeing a sink first thing in the morning, and would you let that sink in? Anyway, that was a good one.
You were tweeting out these jokes before.
Was I?
You were.
Oh, no, I did this about a year ago, though. That was a little bit different. Hey, Mammoth Academy, you know what team's not a joke? Mammoth Academy. Great transition. Fantastic.
Well, I want to just take us back to that final fight where we saw Serum delete Y, and that was exactly what you said before the game was, will they just kill the Kindred before she gets Lambs or Spied off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Every time, though.
Well, it wasn't every time.
Y got caught out more times than I could count.
Much like Chaz, yes, Serum was just sharking around on the side, trying to find those picks so consistently that eventually he's going to find them. Yeah. And people are going to get punished. And when the Kindred goes down before dropping her ultimate, that is massive for their team, especially considering their team comp. It wasn't a bunch of tanks. It wasn't beefy members. It was a lot of squishy targets who need that ultimate to be effective. And Kindred gone, that was the game.
Secondly, where does this stem from Mammoth Academy? What led them in this charge? Because Pope had a pretty decent laning phase, but First Blood went to Kindred. Like, Y got First Blood. So what happened?
It was all just very proactive plays. Now,
I feel like it went to shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You've disappointed your mother.
But I'm sorry, but I honestly think Emprox, that was the performance. We just haven't seen that before. Emprox have been so good at closing out a game or at least climbing back in a game that this wasn't the Emprox we saw in the past 9 weeks.
Well, yeah, Emprox, like we said, they've been a top team. They've been contenders for the third spot. They were tied third coming into this. And just they were constantly trying to claw back from errors. Someone would get caught and their team would pile in and try and rectify that, trying to turn it around. And it just wasn't the case. Avant Academy, whenever they caught someone, were in position to take the extended fight. And that's what they were benefiting from. That's what cost Emprox the game.
But this is so exciting because now 5-5 Avant Academy, they're climbing their way up. A team no one expected. We're going to have a short break before coming back with more OCS action. Welcome back to the OCS for another crispy night. My name's Jake Sarek, Sozipenko, Bradley Teagun, Seymour right here, and we move on to what is going to be a Poggers game of Intuition taking on Die Cubs.
I hate anyone that unironically shouts out Twitch emotes.
Why? Poggers is real life. Poggers is the best emote, by the way.
Disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah.
What? Ladies and gentlemen, vote out now. Hashtag T-Gun wrong or hashtag T-Gun right for Poggers being the best emote. We will wait.
It's LOL. Easily. Without a doubt in my mind.
But Poggers is more exciting. LOL is just like, man, hand on chin.
Right, can we just talk about Intuition Die Cubs instead?
We should. This is an important match. Maybe we should take it seriously. Here's your lineups for you. And why isn't Guts in the OCS? Well, he's here tonight. Why isn't he in the OPL? Maybe that's a question
That's the more important question. But he is here in the OCS, and for Intuition, they used Plug. Now that we've Guts, what I need to see from them is who are they going to use for playoff brackets?
Yeah.
They need to make sure they find out their roster for it, because Fudge can't play playoffs. They shouldn't be swapping in junglers based off whatever their criteria is, performance during the week or whatever, however they define it. So they've had a great run so far. Find that 5 you're going to use and start working with them.
And at this stage, I believe, I'm going to say this, Intuition have guaranteed top 6.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless something crazy happens,
for sure.
Intuition have got themselves top 6.
Even if it isn't mathematical, sure. You know, whatever. They are guaranteed top 6.
And if you're just tuning into the OCS for the first time, Intuition are 9-0. They are the best team so far in the OCS. They are undefeated. Die Cubs had a really good early run. They created some upsets and destroyed some teams in their path, but then they took losses to teams like Bombers. They took losses where they shouldn't. And now 6-3, you're going, is this like Emprox where they could take a loss and be 6-4?
Well, yes, that is how it works.
You know what I mean, though?
Die Cubs coming into a match against Intuition, obviously you're going to say Intuition are the favorites, but Die Cubs are the team that comes in and they take down these favorites. They take it to them very aggressively. Yep. So I can't count them out. It's as simple as that. They always come in and surprise you, especially with Udisoft, a man who we continually sing his praises. He's always just matching up against these junglers who we talk so highly of. People like Swathe, like Guts, like Plug, who we say are these great junglers, and Udisoft comes in and dictates the pace. So for me, on Die Cubs' side, it's all on his back. Get him something aggressive, get him some lane priority.
Will Trundle do? Because
yes,
that is his pick.
If they have lane priority that can help him.
Okay.
You know, jungle 1v1 does not matter if your mid is already there. If your mid has priority and can roam before their mid can react, then you can take something that doesn't have great 1v1 pressure. So for me, yeah, great. Put him on something with great 1v1 pressure. That makes it a lot easier for him. But look for lane priority. Not just in mid lane, look for it in top lane or bot lane. Give him someone that can come help him as he invades.
Well, who's going to do that? Because Topoon has been playing pretty standard stuff. I think Topoon is a relation to Dire Panther. It's something we can delve into a little bit before we go into Champ Select. Topoon's role in Die Cubs. What are your thoughts? Because it's not Dire Panther.
It's a lot more
niche.
niche.
It could be Dire Panther.
It's just so much more niche. You see, Dire Panther, when he was put on tanks, could still carry games. He was still coming out, like on Cho'Gath, extremely far ahead as a huge threat. Topoon is generally just put on that offlane as a tank and left to his own devices.
Having said that, though, filling Biopanther's shoes, they're down big shoes.
Yeah, that's
the issue.
I'm not measuring him against Biopanther. That's not something you can really do readily. He's come into playing on the best team in the OPL and done it with authority. You were expecting him, or at least I was, to just play this passive, side lane thing on Direwolves, but he's coming in huge. So saying, hey, Topoon isn't as good as Biopanther, that's too critical.
That's like, Hayree's not as good as Fantix. Like, well, we know that, but it's not about that.
I mean, I would argue Harry is as good as Fantix at this point.
Well,
with the tutelage of Fantix.
Is that because Fantix is washed up?
No.
There you go.
Wow.
I don't know.
I would say with the tutelage of Fantix.
You know what they say, those who can't play, coach.
Well, it's teach.
Yeah, okay. Well, I did watch School of Rock. Obviously, it's been a while.
Into the game. Standard-ish bans coming from Die Cubs. Soraka first ban from Intuition. Not standard at all. Johnson plays it a lot in solo queue.
He does.
So it's a fair ban.
Katsuri Johnson, though, they've been a Brom Lucian lane. Like, this has been a priority for them, and with Lucian taken off as a second ban, you're like, all right, Soraka first gets you wondering. what is actually going to come out of the bottom lane if you're now banning Heimer as well.
I was about to say perhaps building for a Heimer pick or a Heimer counter pick, but removes it as well. Rakan gone as well, so these traditional strong lanes, Lucian Braum, Xayah Rakan, out the window. The strongest sort of traditional bot lane, I would say, would be something like Kai'Sa Morgana, where you build for this mid-game Kai'Sa to go aggressive, use the ultimate to get in,
But
have Black Shield on.
Haven't we lost the one-item power spike of Gwiznuz?
No, Gwynsu's is still decent. You still build it first, but yeah, you're right, it doesn't have that same punch. It isn't just insane in terms of you build it and then you can beat anyone in the game. It's still effective, just not as effective.
Different pick priority, though, from game one when you consider Emproc's first pick, Kindred. This time we're going with Morgana. Intuition have very different priorities on the map, and they've been very stable. Have not dropped a game, haven't looked like they were going to drop a game.
I would say there was doubts going into the Chiefs Academy game for them. A little bit at the start of that game where they looked fallible. But you are right.
That was a 27-minute win, though, in the end.
Yeah, apart from that small moment of time in the Chiefs Academy game where they were behind for the early game, they have just looked unbeatable. But again, Diacubs, they're the team that comes into those teams and slays them. They have surpassed all expectations already. They're still easily able to make playoffs as well and continue doing that.
Our conversation about the support staff and about Direwolves as an organization have shown growth. Remember this team that came in and were like, yeah, you know, they could be top 4. And then immediately they jumped ahead. They brought Schönfire back in. I know I'm backtracking a lot. With Diacubs in the OCS, at the start we're like, yeah, maybe they'll be top 6. But at the moment we're looking at them, we could say they could be an easy top 4. But this game, this will prove it. As we see the Braum locked in priority, even though there's not Lucian, the hand's going all over the place. It's like Mendrix is still here. Aurelia, that side as well. There. Aurelia just being locked in. And remember that flex, I mean, it's still going mid.
Yeah, there is flex from both champions. Obviously, Morgana mid support, Aurelia mid top. But I would assume right here you just take the Morgana support, put the Aurelia mid because that's where Aurelia has found more sort of strength in recent times. Giving away that flex pick so early, not a huge fan of it, but they're 2 power picks. So you're not too upset about it, you know? Yeah. Aurelia mid, great champion. Morgana support, still great because the utility that she brings, you can take her mid or support, but the big strength of her is from the bind and the black shield, so that's why you see it so prominent in support.
Well, you want to see an aggressive jungler though, and Ubisoft has delivered for you. The Kindred locked in before we get the second ban phase, and now I expect them to get rid of anything that can match Wolf and Lamb.
Is this the same sort of team comp we saw just Amprox play?
Different order.
Different order, sure, but Zoe, Braum, Kindred, same 3 champions, all very strong in their own right. We see Zoe come to fruition whenever Bombers Academy play. Treasy obviously great on the champion, able to take over games.
Even though Chaz got bombarded last game, there was still openings.
I don't think we're going to see a Wukong counter pick at this point, so he's got that going for him.
Well, I don't know. The Aurelia could be flexed.
Yeah, but it could still happen, sure. But
ban Wukong.
I think Aurelia will be the mid pick. But that being said, Aurelia does quite well into Zoe, so you're not sad about it.
No. Well, especially when right now for Intuition, they've got some comfort on the board. Down in the 80 carry position, Intuition have picked up Ezreal every single time. That is Dream, I assume. Dream has been a beautiful Ezreal player. He's been one of the best 80 carries in the competition. And I say that because he's just been stable, and then he gets to the point where he's unstoppable. So let's see how it gets matched by Diacubs. If they pick in this Kai'Sa, they do. Now we're seeing the return. Katsuri.
Before we even talk about, the picks that just came through, the Zac ban. A lot of people are going to be sitting there and be thinking, that was a stable ban maybe 6 months ago.
I mean, you're talking about the Zac, but there's a Vayne ban. I know Vayne's kind of coming back.
Well, again, all of these bans, Vayne, Soraka, Zac, they're probably just targeted towards these players. I know Zac is, by the way. Guts is a huge Zac player.
Oh, he is.
So very clearly that's just a, hey, you're not getting this today ban. But I would say the same for the Vayne ban and the Soraka ban. It's very targeted instead of just banning out these strong champions that we see so often.
Which makes it interesting to ban away the Kha'Zix because that is a plug champion. Where really Kha'Zix's still very relevant, but at the end of the day, Guts is going to have to sit on a Sejuani with a Mundo top locked in as well. And right now, Intuition, clean comp as always, easy to execute. And it's just something that they've been doing time and time again each week.
Before Diacubs pick their last champion here, what Mundo skin do you think it'll be?
Oh, good question.
Darius is the counter pick, and I'm a big fan of Darius here, by the way. Darius with Kindred, I was talking about this in the previous game, huge synergy. You keep everyone alive on low health, and then the second it ticks off, Darius
TPA.
dunks everyone.
I reckon that's fudge. I reckon he's a TPA Mundo player. Or, what's the really good one? Or he's Corporate Mundo.
I want him to be Mr. Mundoverse.
So that's a garbage skin. It is. It doesn't, but what's his cleaver is just a cleaver.
It's a great skin.
It's
he's huge.
But he's
He's everything I want to be.
Tegan, you're huge, man.
But I'm not Mundoverse huge.
You don't want to be like that, man. He's got
Yes,
a
I
needle
do.
sticking out of his shoulder.
I want to be so big I have to walk sideways
Mundo's
through
the
doors.
reason this game's MA15. Like that, that up here,
I think you're actually right. That's probably correct.
I feel like that's the reason.
Yeah, you might not be wrong.
Hey, so Darius and Mundo, we've talked about this matchup a couple of times before, and sticking back to how it goes into lane. Topoon has picked kind of the winning matchup to a degree. We know that it can hurt Fudge. He gets 6-0 and then it's okay usually, but Topoon has a bit of early bullying presence.
It's all about, can he snowball out of that lane?
Okay.
Because if he does not snowball, if he does not get Fudge behind, then he's going to be significantly less useful
That's the
than
key
Fudge.
words, isn't it? Getting Fudge behind. When have we seen Fudge fall behind in laning phase? On broadcast, never. Gangplank lane that he should have lost to I think it was a ranged matchup from memory. Fudge still came out ahead. And right now as we go in, can Intuition lose? A question we've asked. No, I'm not wanting them to. But Diacubs, they have to pull out all stops to get a win here because Intuition look unstoppable. I say it each week.
I want to say that's a little disingenuous to Diacubs because Intuition, can they lose, makes it seem like they have to make mistakes. But we've seen Diacubs play proactively previously.
Can they be stopped?
Yes.
There you go.
Without a doubt. I think the comp that Diacubs has produced here, the great synergy we're seeing with Kindred Darius, that has a lot of potential here. It's all about executing it. You said Intuition have this easy to execute comp, and you're right. Diacubs, they don't have that easy to execute comp. There's a lot of difficult things that they have to pull off, a lot of moving parts. But if they can do it, if they get everything working all at the same time, they have the ability to be proactive, to make the plays, to be aggressive, and take the game from Intuition.
Decision-making, though, Diacubs have to be at the top of every single play. Intuition, if they're on the front foot, it does not look good for the opposing team. So let's see how dangerous Diacubs can truly be against teams that are better than them. Well, in standings, they've done okay. They've put on a bit of a show. And this is going to be no exception here. Guts with the red start. Can we observe a top side, please, to Mundo, if that's all right? That's who
You just want to see the skin.
I just want to see.
You were right.
TPA Mundo.
You were spot on.
How did I know? Either Fudge listened in Champ Select and was like, oh boy.
Just like Carbon, you're a bit of a prophet.
Except I don't want to make money off it because I already get paid being here. Carbon, like, how do I get paid off it? I'm like, I was sitting there listening, Carbon, getting paid to be here.
That's how you know Carbon's an entrepreneur and you're not. It's always thinking of the next
Always
thing,
thinking
the
of
next
more.
hustle.
I did talk about Topoon wanting to be aggressive in this lane, and he hits 2 first. Hayri has hit 2 on to get back as well. But Sleepy Trouble Bubble, not good at all for Hayri. Get back. He's taken cleanse in this lane, so even with Hayri, he won't find kill pressure just yet.
The cleanse is an interesting pick to me. You really want to be aggressive on Zoe. You want to go in for the kills or the roams. So you take the Ignite, potentially take something like Exhaust. Going cleanse is so defensive. Yes, it's great against Sejuani. It's great against Morgana. But to me, it says he's just not that confident.
What I just saw there was Dream and Aladoric to deny away Scuttle Crab from Ubisoft just went up and took it themselves. Very interesting tactic.
Anytime you have a lot of priority bot lane, which Dream and Aladoric have produced, you can see in the CS differential already, that's something you can achieve. You get up there, go for it aggressively. And it's the mark of a great team, a team that is very composed and knows what they can take with slight advantages.
I think there's increasing pressure already. Johnson has to walk up and try and relic some of those as well. Get back once again. But minions to dance through. Harry gets Sleepy Trouble Bubbled. And imagine if he had Ignite. Harry has to flash. A big win for Get Back in the mid lane.
Hayri is really struggling. He's down over 10 CS, probably over 15 by the time he gets back from this recall. And Get Back being so aggressive, really setting a tone in there that he is willing to take it to Hayri even without Ignite.
And meanwhile, on the top side as well, Fudge getting bullied out a little bit as well. He's used his last pot. Topoon at half health, but remember, Fudge is not really going to heal back as much as he'd like, considering that Topoon going to be hitting these minions so much more with melee attacks. And for Diacubs, what a great start to the laning phase. The bottom side evening out too. This is what you need against Intuition. No openings. Nothing of the sort.
Well, for Topoon up there, it's all about getting the sweet spot with the Q as well. Anytime he sweet spots it, he's getting that health back.
Like that.
Double
Flash
flash.
forward,
Oh,
Topoon! No. Big mistake! And Fudge just gets one on the house.
We were just singing his praises, but he goes a bit too aggressive. He gets a bit too hypey. Fudge answers perfectly.
T-Gun. He felt the kill.
He saw it in the mirror, as Juice would say.
Oh, Topoon. Yeah, sorry.
Difficult to come back from there for Topoon. And Fudge, once again, he's taking these matchups where you don't expect him to come out on the winning end and just comes up time and time again with the winning side.
I said we should be looking at the mid side this game, especially with Hayri versus Get Back to highlights. But after that kill, Fudge goes back, gets Bammy Cinder. And against Darius, who couldn't even pick up the Phage on that back, that is going to be punishing, as you said. Udisoft trying to clear out some vision, but Guts is not expecting too much here with Udisoft in a small lead. He'll walk into Guts. Sorry.
Look at the mid rotation, though. Hayri there much faster than Get Back, so Udisoft, he has to back off. Guts gets the crab.
So, objective taken once again by Intuition. Small gold lead, Dream and Aladoric. Bottom lane priority enables this as well.
I want to just go back to mid quickly for a second here. I was saying Cleanse, to me, said Get Back might not be feeling that confident. It's completely the opposite. He's taken Cleanse so he can be super aggressive and go on the Aurelia, not having to be scared of the Sejuani or of the Morgana roaming up there to sort of harass him. So the Cleanse is really, in this situation, an aggressive summoner.
I mean, Hayri's just getting bullied out. He's a level behind. Get Back literally walks in, not going to burn it just now. And this is not something you normally see. Hayri has dominant laning phases. Even if he's on something like the Rise, always manages to scale ahead, but he's 15 CS behind. Udisoft now goes bot side. Flash already burnt out. Aladoric as well, but Udisoft under turret. He may get Aladoric, but the trade goes over to Dream.
A great bind to make the trade there in a 2v3 situation, and that's about as good as it could go. Dream now doesn't even have to recall because there's no more dive pressure. Pretty solid trade there for Intuition, considering that was Udisoft's real play on the map.
So, although Diacubs are making these aggressive plays, T-Gun, it's still working out for Intuition. Dream's going to go back. That's an early tier already. Plus, I assume Sheen, too, in that first back. That is such a great back for an Ezreal. And Intuition getting what they need to start things off. But I'm impressed with Diacubs' performance. Hayri, is he just going to have to back again?
Yeah, for sure. If he gets caught by a bubble here, he is dead. Simple as that. Maybe not even a bubble, just caught by a paddle star.
I'm so glad I put Get Back on my top 5 this week. You know, what a good choice. Showcases why.
Yet again, you put it out about 10 minutes before we went live.
That's the point. People can look at it when they're sitting here. They go, Hysteric's Twitter there, at HystericsCast, is on the side.
Good plug.
And I can, yeah, look, I need the followers, to be quite honest.
Ooh, a steal there from the blue. That's pretty important.
Yeah, Udisoft handing that one over.
Getting there quickly. Now Udisoft can take his own blue as well. Gains him some more EXP back on Guts, who has got a slight lead here in the jungle so far. That being said, there's no paddle star. Doesn't matter.
Still, I'm excited.
That being said, I say he's got a slight lead, but we haven't seen a big gank from Guts yet.
And Guts a little bit off with the timings there as well. Remember, the blue was taken just that bit later. Guts now going to go straight to the Mountain Drake. Bottom lane responding too. And whether this one's going to be found out, I don't think so.
It doesn't matter. Get Back is recalled. As soon as Get Back gets out of that lane, Hayri knows it, he sees it. The Dragon is now pretty safe. Dream and Aladoric have had a lot of pressure in this bot lane, a lot of priorities, so they're able to roam up pretty aggressively, get onto it early, and even if Udisoft was there and went in for it, at best, it was a steal and a trade for his own life.
Well, let's move on from ifs now, because there's a bit of butts down in the bottom lane. Katsuri caught out once again. A small CS disadvantage. Pickaxe picked up versus the Sheen.
Something that the people watching didn't notice just there is as you tried to make that joke work, and when Hysterics realized it wasn't going to work, he just flailed his arm.
I just
gave up.
I don't know
it.
where I was going with that one. A lot of my material's made up on the spot, by the way. It's like some of my mad Twitter bants as well. I just googled some jokes. I'm a phony. Fudge.
The fraud.
Gets a pop there. Topoon, he's got the dunk. Fudge goes golden. But
Good
he built this one
use.
up, so Topoon cannot re-engage.
Good stopwatch use. If Q had sweet spotted, might have been a kill there. Would have been very close to it. The sound was running out, you could tell.
Well, it shouldn't have gone that long.
It was such a good stopwatch use. It deserved it.
Yeah, fair enough. So top side of the map, still a little bit edgy. It's like walking into, you know, a teen concert. At the moment, Fudge is going to hang all the way back. He doesn't have teleport available, but Get Back has made the roam. Sleepy Trouble Bubble misses, but Topoon doesn't. Point blank, Dire Cubs, the roam is good. And Get Back goes golden to get the kill.
Good roam from Dire Cubs. Doesn't net them the tower, though. They don't have a wave yet. Intuition are going to collapse. Guts is heading up, so is Hayri. Dire Cubs now, they recognize this, back off, so they get the pick, which is great, but they don't get anything off it.
But they can get away from here 4-3. So Fudge goes down, better damage on the top wave turret. Katsuri and Johnson getting aggressive onto Dream Aladoric. But look who that kill went to, T-Gun. It went to Get Back, who's already 20 CS ahead. With this lane priority, as we were talking about, he's been able to walk to the top side of the map and further influence Dire Cubs.
A lot of pressure now on Get Back to transition that into the mid game. He has to be sharking around aggressively, looking for the long-range bubbles, the paddle stars, and doing that against Morgana and Sejuani. That is why he's taking cleanse, because it is so scary. If they're able to predict where he is going to jump from for the paddle star, he can very easily be caught and burst down. That's where it is going to come to fruition, the summoner choice. So, playing into the mid game, much better for him, and he's already got that lead in the early game as well, so the Ignite, obviously not necessary for him.
Dream obviously used the Elixir of Fortitude there. I guess he was looking for a bit of a heavy trade.
Well, it's from Klepto, so it's not great.
Gold, you know? Either way, Dream's been stacking up quite nicely.
You wanted him to sell that.
I did.
No.
But look, Get Back's just walked into lane. Again, he'll find Fudge, who goes drowsy. Even though Masochism was popped, Fudge might just have to walk out of lane again. And that top lane turret, I think this time it's going down.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think Get Back should have stayed, but it will go down. Wise move there by Dire Cubs. I've harped on it so much about making sure your picks turn into objectives. Right there, they burn the utility off Fudge early, burn the Masochism, get him off the tower, take the tower very quickly, Get Back bails out early, so there's no answer mid, and now Ubisoft already on Rift Herald as well.
I think it's Sadism, by the way. I think I get it mixed up. But anyway.
You're killing me, man.
Yeah.
I lean on you for these, ability names.
I meant to know the skill names. I told you, I'm a phony. Get Back again. He gets the drowsy. This time a Paddle Star will connect, and Hayri taking the brunt of this damage. He has the null magic resist, but it hasn't turned into Mercury Treads just yet. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, Ubisoft, you heard it. He just picked up the Rift Herald, and for Dire Cubs, with already that first turret blood, mid turret could be next.
I have to say, so far we were talking about, can Ubisoft be aggressive and help his team through? Get onto intuition, be proactive. He has done just that. He's been around the map, been more active than Guts. Top ganks now taking Herald as well, and that Herald, like you said, could break mid.
Hayri wants to take the fight, already out of the ultimate. Get Back has to get back in. A good Lamb's respite, misses the trouble bubble though, and Get Back flushes away, and luckily, Hayri will go down, but lucky for who, I wonder?
I'm going to say lucky for Dire Cubs. Herald now spawned as well. Mid tower not long for this world. Yes, they answer with bot tower, but mid tower is so much more important. Anyone who has played even solo queue games knows that mid tower going down opens up the map so much, especially for a champion like Zoe. I was saying before, she needs to be sharking around, throwing bubbles over walls, just looking for people in transition. No more mid tower means it's a lot easier for Get Back to do that.
What a big early game lead though. Dire Cubs rush ahead. And although there's a Mountain Drake sitting with intuition, Dire Cubs, those two turrets, it's some net profit right there. First item picked up by Ubisoft. Let's talk more about lane priority, because you wanted to see it from Dire Cubs. They have drafted some pretty heavy lanes, apart from the bottom side of the map. I mean, right now, Katsuri and Johnson, they've been the most passive part of the map. They're either ahead or they're neutral.
Well, we say that they haven't been ahead, and they didn't have priority, but there was also
Okay,
no
last
real pathing down there to help them. They were left to their own devices. It wasn't like Diacubs wanted to play through there, and they've done quite well. They only just lost that bot tower as Diacubs were making a play mid, so each time you're making a play on the opposite side of the map with Ubisoft, top or mid, whatever, Guts should be answering that opposite or counter-ganking, and he was never counter-ganking, so that bot tower should have been their real main objective, and it took so long.
I'm glad you brought that up. What have we seen at Guts so far?
Nothing.
He's been
0, 0, and 0.
He's been hard farming. Ubisoft hasn't really been all over the map as well. Like, I'm not going to give props to Ubisoft just yet, but there's been 2 moments that have been key. 2 or 3 moments.
I am giving props to him.
Okay.
He's got the top tower dive for Topoon. He got the Rift Herald. He's now invading. They're going to go take down bot tower as Topoon tries to solo defend and get Dragon as well. Proactive play for Diacubs is netting them an early game lead against Intuition, and that is not something I have said on broadcast before.
Because Intuition have not looked weak in the knees. Mountain Drake goes over to Diacubs and to the bottom side of the map. I'm sticking with that one. A response already. Diacubs, they are the proactive players in this game, as you said. With a Dragon, with a turret. Right now, that gold lead stems in direction.
Now, all the easy objectives have been taken. Outer towers, neutral objectives. They're simple to set up, easy to make happen. Now it's about going in, pushing your vision further, denying either the blue or the red side from Intuition and looking for picks around there. Diacubs are ahead, but it's only 1,000 gold. And I would fancy guess the majority of that is on the Zoe. So it's all about making sure Get Back can be effective and start pushing forward for his team.
But it's also on Kindred. There's about 1,300 gold just simply on Ubisoft. So even though the bot side of the map, that's where we're losing out the most for Diacubs. 1,500 to Dream. All because of that early kill.
He's ahead of the clock.
He really is. He always is, though, T-Gun.
Dream, again, he is
CS.
just the consistent one for Intuition who's always just doing well. No matter what, he picks his champion, be it Ezreal, which is clearly his favorite.
He always picks Ezreal, to be quite honest.
And it's just always a factor, no matter what. And that is what's really important here for Intuition, because you said it yourself, Ubisoft, huge lead. Get Back, significant lead. Topoon also doing quite well on his own right.
Considering what happened earlier on with that misplay in the flash, giving first blood over to Fudge, I'm surprised that Diacubs, the top side of the map, has actually recovered.
I'm not. Even though he did make that misplay, it was clear Topoon was dictating what was going to happen in the lane. So, yes, it was a misplay, but he was still being proactive, being aggressive in that lane.
But you speak of the aggression, and Intuition are playing it right now with the mid turret being sieged upon Dream and Aladoric, running away from Ubisoft, and what's happening on the rest of the map? It's just bot side Topoon wanting to take the 1v1, forces out the sadism, but the flash away responded again. Fudge cannot get near Topoon.
The tandem flashes. I would say it was almost perfect.
Aladoric, be
Get
careful.
Back. So in this mid lane, as Intuition sieged, Get Back, he hasn't found anything. No paddle stars, no bubbles. And that's what Diacubs need, not only to stem the aggression from Intuition, but to do anything themselves. He is the catalyst for his team. He is what's going to start almost all of the fights, almost all of the picks. We see Topoon trying to take the 1v1 down there, but the 1v1, if they don't get a kill, doesn't mean anything. All it means is both of them will reset and nothing happens in the side lane.
Well, they're still going to sit in the side lane nonetheless. Sleepy Trouble Bubble finally lands. Here comes Battlestar. Get Back.
Ooh.
Almost deletes Aladoric. He'll go golden. And now Guts finally in a fight. But is his first fight going to be a flop? It is not. Dream gets the first kill. On the flank is Hayri. Topoon TP's in. But the fight's already over. Intuition doing what Intuition do best. And that is running over a fight.
They catch everyone so quickly. No Kindred ultimate. That is huge. Without the Kindred ultimate, that's what loses them the fight. If they were able to get that down, potentially they can turn, they can stall out the fight, Get Back can start getting paddle stars off, get the consistent damage out. But instead, Kindred falls down too quickly, so does Braum. They lose the fight. Massive gold swing towards Intuition, 2 mid towers as well. Oh, Diacubs, when they were looking so good, Intuition just clamped down on them and swing the game in their favor.
It was one fight. Guts gets involved in one fight. And that team fight turns out pristine. A 4-for-0. Or 4-for-1, I believe, at the end of the day. As I'm not sure if Aladoric dropped, but it's Diacubs coming so close. Their mid lane's fed. Everyone else is falling behind. But now, here's the issue. Double Trinity Force. has just been picked up. Dream and Hayri. Fudge in the top side of the map, finished Sunfire Cape, and now onto the Giant's Belt. You have so many one-item power spikes, even 2 now for Dream. So where we balance it out is that Dire Cubs, they now have to recover off this with Baron coming up in a minute 15 and the next Dragon spawning soon as well.
Difficult to recover. I think they need to start grouping Topoon into fights. Start seeing that synergy with the Kindred Darius. Take these fights where everyone gets so low and you just get the resets, the dunks constantly.
Alidoric was trying to pick one, but however, Intuition have had their fun. They walk towards Baron, and now let's see what Dire Cubs can do. Guts going for the invade once more. Get back to Paddle Star. He's actually just missed that. He missed everything. Bit of nerves getting towards the Dire Cubs mid laner, I dare say.
He needs to be hitting those as well. You have to hit those. It's as simple as that.
Even if it doesn't result in a kill, just the damage there. Alidoric, they've just found the Kindred again. Lamb's Respite and everyone trying to jump in it. Dire Cubs survive. Guts, though, a great Glacial Prison. Johnson the pick, and he'll get an ultimate to lock everyone down, but Johnson's in the middle of the fight, and Dire Cubs can't respond. Flash forward now as Katsuri, the next one to be picked, and he won't even get the second skin passive off. He goes down too. Dire Cubs on the defensive.
No Darius there for that fight is what really swung it. Fudge gets there early, continues the fight. Topoon too slow to rotate. Inhib turret goes down, probably inhibitor fall as well. The game, as well as Dire Cubs did early, so quickly falling away from it.
But here is the response. Vanguard's edge does miss, and Udisoft on the backside. Get back there as well. Topoon ready to start dunking. He finds Fudge as the first. The Ignite's there, but he heals past it. Alidoric getting chased down too. And Get Back 71, ready to go back to the next game of days as Hayri runs one side, Dream to the other, and Dire Cubs defend, but lose their inhibitor.
They're going to try Baron here, though. They need to get a big swing here. Baron would be it. I think they can do it. It's only Hayri and Dream. There is no teleport on Fudge. So as long as they commit to it, get on it quickly, they do a lot of damage, and they should be able to secure this.
Topoon sits mid, clearing out the way, prepping for supers. Baron going down very fast. Here comes the TP, Tiga. It's from Dream. They're in position. True Shot Barrage. A little too early. And Baron goes down. Dire Cubs sneak the objective, and now they have to get out.
I wouldn't even say sneak. Intuition knew what was happening. It was a trade. Mid-inhibitor for Baron.
It's like a snake is in the ball pit. You don't know where it is, but it's in there, and you know if you go in there, you're going to die.
Wait, snake in a ball pit?
I had some nightmares when I was a child. Like, it didn't happen in real life, but I always imagined there was a snake in the ball pit, and sometimes I got scared.
You went to some weird places as a kid.
No, there wasn't actually a snake in there, Tegan, alright?
Oh my gosh. Now the Baron, let's talk about that for a second. Because it likely won't net Dire Cubs anything. I can't imagine they'll get a turret from it, but it stalls the game out. That's what they needed so desperately. The tempo was kicking up. Intuition were taking objective after objective, winning the fights. And if you could just slow it down, potentially get yourself a neutral objective in Dragon, that's what you need to do right now. Make sure you can settle down, restart the fights, make sure you get things happening yourself, because you were getting picked, you were getting caught just by the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
Now that you've slowed it down, get back and get to what he wants to do, which is look for bubbles from long-range distances. Look to hit paddle stars on people as they're in transition.
2 items now, T-Gun. Get Back is in a comfortable position. But look at that. Death Rush.
It's comfortable, but this is not what they want. They don't want a big
Katsuri
fight.
again, although there's a good front line there. Glacial Fissure hits one. Katsuri ults over the wall, though, and a great recovery. Topoon dunks him down, and Dire Cubs Guts comes in with a beautiful ult, and now they're on the defensive. Vanguard's edge on 2. A flash out, a jump out, and Dire Cubs, is this it for the fight? A double kill on Dream, followed up by an absolute demolition and Intuition again, showcasing why they're undefeated.
That's game over. Mundo has teleported mid. They're going to usher in a wave as fast as possible. They might just barely revive for Dire Cubs. Actually, I think Intuition have went the safer route, went to the side lanes, and instead of trying
jumping ahead of it, Tiga.
Well, that's what Intuition were looking to do.
This game to be over.
They teleported mid. They were all running towards it, but instead they wisely back out of it when they realize the death timers just aren't there yet.
But next fight, if we get to that next fight, T-Gun, I think that is a very wise call. Right now, Intuition are going to push the bot side, and after that big fight, anything is possible.
It's as simple as this. There shouldn't be that big fight for Dire Cubs. That was not a fight you wanted to take. You want to get back on the side, poking people down, looking for a pick. Yes, you have synergy in big fights with Kindred and Darius Lamb's fight. Again, it did not go off. Kindred was 100-0 inside the Sejuani ultimate. If you cannot get everything working as it needs to, you cannot take the fight. As simple as that. Diacubs, it seems like they have all of these conditions to win. And like I said before, it's a lot of moving parts, difficult to get off, and they're just not making it work right now.
It is a valiant effort, but they're 5,000 gold behind. Sorry, scrap that, 4,000 gold behind. Either way, Diacubs at a disadvantage here. And considering that Katsuri isn't even on to the Nash's Tooth yet, was that stolen by... Fudge just takes that away from Dream. Anyway, as I was saying, 3 items on Dream. Dream has 3 items before Katsuri has his second.
He's even went for the faster scaling build with the Blade Third. That's the more common build for Ezreal now instead of the double tier, because he knows that he was the main carry threat for them coming into the mid game. He needed to just get as strong as possible, as quick as possible.
But he's not the only one. In the mid lane, Harry's caught up from what was a bit of a devastating laning phase. He's now overtaken Getback, who was the main damage threat for Diacubs.
I want to say he is the only one. Look at the gold difference right there. It is all in the Ezreal. 4,000 up on his own. And that's essentially the gold difference now at 5,000, mind you. And, man, once again, Dream, he is the rock for Intuition. Every game he turns up.
No one bans Ezreal against Intuition. Every single time this pick gets through.
Well, I don't think that banning Ezreal would change it.
I feel like it would.
I think fundamentally he is a great player. Mechanically, he is a great player. And if he was on Lucian or Varus or Xayah, it would be the same story.
Well, maybe right now we look at the bigger picture, and that's Intuition at 9-0, where Diacubs are trying to dismount them from the high horse. They did that in the early game, but now things have gotten a little bit more serious. As Baron not up for a while, but Diacubs only losing their mid inhibitor, which has respawned. Top side of the map. Dream sitting there with Get Back, but right now the Ezreal the same level as the mid laner.
No matter the result of this game at this point, Diacubs can walk out with their head held high. I think they have given Intuition the most trouble they have felt all season long by this point.
It might not be over just yet, because Sadism has to be popped there by Fudge. He's on the run out, and Ubisoft, although can't catch up to him, will at least force him out of that lane. But look at the top side of the map, Intuition. Meanwhile, they've made their play.
Yeah. The second they see Ubisoft down there, they go for the pick on Fudge. Even if Fudge dies, top tower is the easy answer. Eldoric, though, gone really low really quickly.
I mean, Get Back can clear these waves pretty quick, just like Katsuri. So right now, Intuition have to be careful. Get Back is trying to snipe someone down. And there is still hope. Diacubs right now, just because they've lost a couple of fights, doesn't mean they can claw their way back in and get a pick.
You're absolutely right, is that they're very behind. Don't get me wrong. But if they get the fight off on their terms, they get the pick early with the Zoe, they get the synergy going with Darius Kindred, they can win these fights still. 5k gold, 4k gold, does not matter how big it gets. As long as they're able to get everything working perfectly, they can win fights. It's just so difficult.
Ease of execution, right? So Intuition, we talked at the start of the game about how their comp is very easy to execute. We've seen why. For Diacubs, a little bit harder, but they're not a team that is incapable of not being able to execute this comp. They're a team that's shown that they've got skill, they've got experience as well. A team that's been rising through the ranks. Diacubs on the verge of maybe showing us why they can be a top 14.
Dream is still ahead of the clock, and I love that he's heading towards Azonias as his next item.
True.
If he dies, that is the team dying, essentially. Don't get me wrong, you still have strong members like the Aurelia, for example, but every fight, he has been alive, he's been persistent, dealing out damage, being aggressive. So getting a slightly defensive item in Zonias, great choice.
Dream is just absorbing resources right now. 300 CS at 28 minutes in the game. He's a monster on this pick. And in the 80 carrier position, I'm going to say, you know why people have been calling him the best ADC of 2018 OCS? One of the best ADCs in OCE? Yes, I'll go that far. Mountain Drake, here it comes.
He's making a really good argument that he deserves an OPL spot at this point, even if Intuition do not promote.
Yeah.
Every game he has looked great. There hasn't been a single misstep where you look at him and be like, well, you know, today, so consistent.
Never heard you talk like that.
What? Sing someone's praises?
No, whatever that voice was. That was the new T-gun.
Oh
I feel like
gosh.
I've changed you, to be quite honest.
Oh, probably not for
You
the better.
didn't smile once upon a time. Now you smile.
That's allegedly.
Well, I don't want to take the credit for that one, but I will. As Intuition, they're not going to sit around this Baron just yet. Baron is waiting there, though. You see the vision control there, about 4 control wards. Making sure Diacubs don't get anywhere near. And that's that priority and vision that we've talked about all through the split. Where we need to see those Barons warded up nicely, because with these early games being so explosive, Baron becomes a very real priority at 20 minutes on.
I'll say it again, though. The game has slowed down. There's been a few minutes since anything big has happened. Intuition, they took a dragon, but Baron has been available for quite some time now. They have control of the area as well, and they're not looking for it. They're looking to try and potentially get a pick before they commit to it. They're looking down bot side now with Dream, tracking towards where Fudge is potentially. And for a team that is as far ahead as they are, at 1.5k gold,
Yeah.
it's slowly coming down.
Oh, Fudge just walks into Udisoft. Remember that this Mundo is so tanky right now. Udisoft, this is not a good challenge because Dream is there, but the support of the rest of Diacubs follows, and they'll just push them away. Right now, Intuition cannot afford to be picked off. The next Baron, Diacubs will be able to do something with.
Udisoft definitely has not built for that fight against the Mundo. So it was surprising for him to even take it as long as he did. Diacubs now cleaning out the Baron area. They're not going to try it. Even though if they did start it up right now, there's a decent chance they could get it. They do it quite quickly. But it is wiser to err on the side of caution. Make sure all you're doing is replacing vision, contesting the area. And again, a slower game right now benefits Diacubs. Even if the gold lead stays at 4,000 gold, that's going to mean less and less as time goes on. Ezreal, he's going to run out of item slots.
Yeah.
So you always got that going for you. With the second he hits 6 items, hey, he won't get any stronger.
Considering when you're versing a Kaiser, Trouble Bubble lands again. Guts looking for the Glacial Prison on the back end there. And Alodoric, he's fronting a lot of these shots. He may have the Zonyas, but one hit is possible when you're looking at Get Back now, who's onto the needlessly large rod. You have to expect that we're going to see, what are we going to see there?
Collapse here on mid, though. Look at where Fudge is, just hanging off to the side there, looking to initiate. Alodoric now walking up as well.
Bottom lane again. Katsuri gets out of there, but Johnson, very real threat is TP. Can be burned there from Diacubs. I'm not sure why it was finished. Topoon goes golden, but although the Glacial Prison misses, Topoon survives now. T-Gun shook his head, but I think this could be okay. No, it can't, and take it back. Lamb's Respite and Intuition just walk into it. Diacubs, what happened? Intuition just get a big hug, and they love it. They yap it up as Dream walks into Katsuri for his 6th kill of the game.
That teleport was so bad, then it was good, but they didn't get the Lamb's Respite off. They were looking for that fight where they get the Lamb's Respite and get that fight going where he starts getting resets. Instead, he does fall down. Now, death timers are so long, we saw Get Back try and proxy the wave out, make sure they couldn't push, and just didn't get enough done.
Diacubs had the ability to get the pick. One mistake and Intuition say yes. This will be a hard defense. In fact, this is not going to be a defense whatsoever.
It's an impossible
Intuition
defense.
is just taking the Nexus, and right now they stay undefeated. You cannot make a mistake in the face of Intuition, but Intuition stay undefeated, and the thing to look at here is they just guarantee their spot ever so more.
Oh, they were already guaranteed in the top 6.
Ever so more, T-Gun.
Now, what are they guaranteed?
So
Probably top 2 at this point? That's something to look
Should
at
I
right
say
now.
it, or would you like to?
What?
That was a very close game. One mistake. Diacubs, it's unfortunate. That TP. Cancel it. TPs can be cancelled, ladies and gentlemen.
I wouldn't even say cancel that final TP. He got in there. He had the stopwatch as well, so he was able to stay alive in the fight. Got the... I want to say he probably hit about 3 or 4 people with the sweet spot on his Q on Darius. All he needed was Lamb's Respite. And then that fight is completely different. Instead, Darius falls down before Lamb's Respite goes off, and then the fight's over at that point. You need to try and evacuate with as many people as you can, try and stall out the game, and it's just too late for that sort of mistake to happen.
Look, maybe I'm being a bit too harsh. Diacubs did force Intuition into a corner at one point. A great early game. But Intuition always had this ability to find their way back in.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Like I said, Diacubs, they can finish today with their head held high. Yes, they didn't come out with a victory, and it would have been such an important victory for them, but they took Intuition in the early game by surprise, had a lead for a good part of that game, and not many teams can say they've had a lead against Intuition. Only, I believe, Chiefs Academy have really done that, where they've dictated the pace of the game early. So for Dicubs, good start. But when it got to the point where they needed to put all of these moving parts together, like I said before, their comp, it had all of these things that could happen, these cool synergies, but they were so difficult to execute, and they just weren't able to get it done.
Well, Dicubs go 6-4. They sit with Mprox. However, undefeated, 10-0. Intuition still lead the charge at first. We're going to have a 7-minute break so we can eat chicken. We'll be back in the game 3. And welcome back to the OCS, folks, where the memes are spicy, but T-Gun is a little bit spicier. That is him. I am Asterix, and we're about to jump into Game 3. And Game 3, let me tell you, is a doozy, because Mammoth taking on Darksided is probably going to define who sits top 6, or who can potentially sit top 6.
Well, I want to say Darksided, their playoff dreams are pretty much gone. You know,
Are they, though?
even if you win every game, right, you're still right on the cusp. What they can do is play spoiler. They can pretty much dictate who makes that spot. And against Mammoth Academy, who are really vying for that 6th spot, that 5th spot, this is a big game for them, even though it's against Darksided.
So they're on 2-7. If they win today, if they win next week, that's week 11, week 12, week 13. If they get 4 wins, they're 6-7.
Yep.
Right? And although a lot of other teams are sitting maybe 5 in the tiebreaker right now, anything could happen. So they're not out of it.
They're not eliminated, right?
I think ground
they
zero
can
at 2
make
and
it.
8 at the moment, that's more realistic because you've got 4 left.
They can make it, sure, but at 6 and 7,
Right.
you need to rely on so many other things going your way. You need to rely on other teams dropping important games, a big tie happening, head-to-head mattering. You know, at that point, it's just so out of your hand.
But if Darksided are going to do it, are they going to do it with this roster as we bring them up? Thank you very much, producer, for that whispering that in my ear. Good story. We've got Cappy in the jungle. Hello. And Framer in the top side.
Once again, Darksided, they just can't find that key formula, the 5 players they are happy with. They're always making little substitutions, you know? And sure, the last 2 weeks it's worked. Different rosters both times, victory both times. So maybe again, they're just making small improvements. Yet to be seen, obviously. Mammoth Academy, however, stock standard, same 5 players we've seen every
The
week.
LPL playstyle. That's Mammoth Academy. The team that likes to fight and that loves this meta. Let me tell you a little story. Old Regicide right here. As I've said every single time I see them. And Darksided, I wonder if they like the chaos. Because Mammoth, they feel right at home.
Well, for Mammoth Academy, yes, they love the fighting, they love the chaos, but I want them to rein it in a little bit. What we've seen from them is real bouts of inconsistency, right? They're such a great team, and make no mistake about it, they are a great team. But there's plenty of times where they make silly mistakes, overcommitting for objectives, not willing to let anything go. They've never seen an objective they didn't want to fight over. Crab, dragon, whatever, they're there.
They're there.
And if they can just find the ability to concede something, just back out of a few fights, maybe not go as hard, as just aggressive, then they can start being a more consistent team. And, you know, that's what they need to do when it comes to playoffs. They just can't be this ball of aggression just going wherever it wants.
Well, I think a little bit of definition there for Mammoth might do it well, but a little bit of definition for Darksided I think is much needed at this point anyway. So
I mean, how much definition can you have when you just have a new roster every week?
I am a little bit concerned because for Darksided here, they've shown potential, they've shown these signs of life. Command's picked up Karthus without Smite, without a funneling jungler, and that was a worry. So this import in the mid lane has not worked out for Darksided, but there has been that potential again. And against a roster like Mammoth, where there's maybe not as much structure, I guess that's when you start going, all right, we've had 2 wins in the week past. Why can't we get a win against Mammoth?
Well, yeah, they can definitely take this game. As they've shown, they're starting to build some momentum. They're starting to actually look like a team. It's against Mammoth Academy, I would say it's actually more difficult than playing someone like Chiefs Academy. When you play Chiefs Academy, you know what to expect. They're going to play a very, for the lack of a better term, standard game where they focus on specific objectives and take a more defined approach to the game. Whereas Mammoth Academy, they're going to come at you when you don't expect it. They're going to fight over any little thing that they can manage to fight over, try and make picks happen, and just be aggressive at every point. So it's a lot more difficult to adapt to. But if you're able to adapt to it, especially for Darksided, it shows a huge amount of improvement for them.
And improvement is a good word, because I'll just transition this into Yele. Yeah, thumbs. It's like, oh, I did it. Yele has been... Okay, what's a good word for this? In the OPL, what did you think of Yele? Be honest.
I thought he was a good player.
He played Rammus jungle, Tegan.
That's great. I'm a fan. I play Blitz. Who am I to justify what isn't a good
to be fair,
pick?
actually, that's a pretty fair statement. Okay, so for Yele in the OPL, I was like, all right, he's good, but was he great? I'm not sure. In comparison to other OPL junglers, Maybe not.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're comparing him to the OPL junglers, sure, he wasn't able to really match up.
What about the OCS?
He's done quite well. We haven't seen him bust out these unique picks, these niche picks like the Rammus, as far as I'm aware. Definitely not on broadcast. And don't get me wrong, I want to see it. I thought it was hilarious, and he played it so well when they did pick it in the OPL.
Oh, that's a win against...
I want to see it happen again.
Who did they win against, Tegan?
I believe it was Abyss at the time, now Bombers.
Ah, yes. Back in the good old days.
You say you're 23. What do you mean good old days?
That was
the prime of your life.
I remember when OPL started as well. I was there.
Were you?
Yeah.
So was I.
Oh, you're in
Playing.
it. Nice. Well, you know what they say. If you can't play,
talk.
Yeah.
Something like that.
All right, let's jump in.
Kindred, first band.
Can they get their win? Can they continue this steam train? And against a team like Mammoth Academy, they are ferocious. So get rid of that aggressive ban.
Steam Train was really specific.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. When do you see steam trains? You're full of things today.
1800s?
Snakes in the ball pit, steam trains.
The snake in the ball pit is a very severe nightmare I had as a child.
It is just not a common saying.
You know why as well? I feel like it's from Harry Potter or something.
I don't know.
Not the ball pit specifically. You just see a snake, you know. I think it was Cedric when Cedric
You're
died.
reaching here.
Sorry. If
Really
someone
reaching.
hasn't seen Goblet of Fire, is it Goblet of Fire? Yeah, if someone hasn't
I
seen
think the
Goblet of Fire
statute of limitation here is passed by now, right?
Yeah. Cedric Diggory dies.
you were tiptoeing around it, and then you just
I was like,
threw it out there.
Well, you gave me confirmation that it was
gosh.
kind of, you know.
Well, not that much. I didn't say spoil it. I said it's all right.
But how does he die?
Back to this game, though.
Sure.
Much more standard bands than we've been seeing previously. Every band so far is pretty much one of the S tier picks, or at very least top tier. With Kindred, Talia, now Zoe, Kled, and Aatrox. All of these are just great champions. Nothing really specific from either team. What I want to see is, what do you then pick from here? Swain now banned out, so you still have champions like Vladimir, which are a great pickup from Mammoth Academy. You also have almost all the junglers left open. You can go Graves, Nocturne, very, very happily here.
Yeah.
So much left open, and I want to see this benefits red side more than blue side.
Well, Heim has been left open though, so Dark Side will steal that one away. It's a good pick priority. But Mammoth Academy, remember red side tonight, when there has been an OP pick available on the blue side, usually 2 red side picks have just been incredible. So let's see what gets responded.
That's what I'm worried about here, is there's still so many strong picks, even though all of the bands were standard bands, that picking Heimer, sure, it's cool, it has a lot of lane pressure, but you leave a lot open. Trundle first picked up. Now...
Tonight, though, no Trundle priority whatsoever tonight.
Yeah, it feels like it wasn't a contested pick here. There are still things like Graves left open. So it's Morgana, more of a important pick, a contested pick, if you will.
Yeah.
So less surprising. Does not feel like an OO champion.
Definitely doesn't. But
that being said, last week I said the same thing and
he played Kled mid.
Pulled it out. So
and this time Mammoth Academy ban away Kled mid on the red side, making sure Darksider don't repeat or maybe pick that one up for themselves. Camille, have we said it tonight? No.
I would say if they're picking it, it would be jungle. You still have Mundo and Darius available,
so
taking it top wouldn't be as standard.
But remaining a flex for now.
Yeah, you still have that flexibility, and keeping that flexibility, keeping that mystery in your draft is very important. That's why these champions hold so much power, is because it makes it difficult to draft against that. So while you can assume it's Camille jungle, which I'm sure Mammoth Academy will be doing, you're still not fully sold. Maybe now you are.
All right, now the flex just... Well, anyway, look, in this meta, you're going to assume it's Camille jungle no matter what. Can I just say Camille jungle with Heimer bot's pretty OP. You gank bot side, all you have to do is put your big turret down there, big snowmobile, whatever it is.
Throw the ultimate.
With the Hextech ultimatum, everyone's like, I can't get out. I want to leave, but I can't get out. It's some pretty OP mechanics right there. I've experienced it firsthand.
Well, I mean, you're right that it is difficult to deal with. But again, one thing I just want to grandstand a little bit here on Heimerdinger is he has so much laning pressure. He's so aggressive and able to just turn in 2v2s to 2v3s. He's able to just stand his ground. But we never see a Heimerdinger at the mid game or late game really be that great like we do a Kai'Sa or last game Ezreal.
I don't think we get to that point, though. Especially in the OCS. We haven't gone over 40-minute games if we...
Well, there were 2 40-minute games yesterday.
But did they have Heimerdingers? Oh, actually, Crimson Gaming did. And they lost. Well, there you go. That's testament to what you were saying. Maybe Heimerdinger, I mean, you fall behind as well as a Heimerdinger, you do nothing.
Oh,
to a degree.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
You do less of
he
what
definitely
you do.
is not very effective when he's behind, but still, if you're able to set up your turrets, set up your domain, it's all right. Darius Mundo, same matchup we saw last game. Pretty standard top matchup at this point, right? They're two of the very strong champions that do tend to fall through the draft. And we saw last game, Top Moon really take it to Fudge. So can Mammoth Academy do the same here?
I think it's going to be a different case because last game that was such an aggressive matchup and it was because of the top laners itself.
Well, if you talk about aggressive matchups, surely ZZZ on Darius is going to just go in on Darkseid.
I just realized.
Really take it to frame.
Yeah, okay.
So it's probably going to be even worse than the first one in terms of how aggressive they play.
Yeah, we know ZZZ goes for the risky plays. Sometimes they don't work out. Sometimes they do. Talon and Fiddle taken off the board. Aurelia final ban. And already, look, there are a lot of things open. I'm kind of glad we don't get to see Kindred. I don't feel like we've seen the best of what Kindred can do tonight. Not to take away from the jungles, we just haven't got to the point where Lamb's Respite has changed the fate of the world.
It's a difficult ability to land in an influential way, so it's not a knock on the players playing it. You can put it down, sure, and just hope for the best.
Ash.
But timing it really well, hard to do. Ash just open picked.
But a big pick in Korea. Haven't seen it over here as much.
They haven't picked their support, they can go Tahm Kench and suddenly it doesn't matter. So it's so strange to pick it openly. I would have loved to hold this for last pick and give Suman something, or sorry, Owo something that he's just confident that you can take him Ari, for example. He'll be happy to play that into anything. I don't love it just openly picked. Answered by Brand is a bit of a question mark. Yes, he can be aggressive in lane, and they are going to just stomp this bottom lane. Don't get me wrong. Darkseid have all the tools in the world to just win this 2v2 down bot.
They do.
But Ash now, in the mid game, no matter who she hits with the ultimate so far, is huge. Even if you hit Mundo, as long as you're able to get the healing reduction, be it Ignite, Merolnomicon, whatever have you,
Victor
is going to kill someone.
Man, I saw Sneaky play Victor yesterday on stream. All right, that's all. That's the last time I've seen Victor. That was solo queue stuff from an AD carry.
High tier solo queue and OC see it a lot. There's a man by the name of Super Schizo who plays it quite a lot in solo queue. Doesn't play the OCS, so not as relevant here, but hey. But it does see play. It's just not as competitive. Owo answers with LeBlanc.
I saw the Z hovered there for a second, and I saw an Owo
You wanted to see it.
You hate to see it.
No, you love to see it. Darksided, they haven't finished swapping here, surely. But they have until 20 seconds, so I'll wait before I get excited.
Look, it's all right, take it. They'll swap
they did it. All right. I was getting a little excited there for a second with some unique champion locations. Now it seems a little bit more obvious. Still, Ash has so many targets here on the side of Darksided that she's happy to hit, even if it hits the Mundo, as long as they get ahead early and don't let the Mundo hyperscale, that no matter who she hits with the arrow, she's happy. Whereas generally you see, especially in games where Ash is picked a little earlier, 2 or 3 targets where if they hit that target, it's useless.
Everyone's going to die. That arrow will hit. The only one who's going to probably dodge it out is going to be Cappy on the Camille. But right now, a little bit immobile in the composition. So Darksided, they put everything on the line here. Another loss, they'll sit with ground 0 and most likely guarantee themselves out of playoff positioning here in the OCS. For Mammoth, this is a crucial win. They go up to 6. They then join the ranks of teams like Emprox, Dire Cubs. They then sit up there in a potential holding of top 6. So for both these teams, a loss could mean the end.
For me, Darksided, they have basically nothing to lose here and everything to gain. I said it before. Even if they win out from here, they need so much to go their way to make top 6.
It's not guaranteed, that's right.
It's still possible, but it's so hard to do. Whereas they can play so aggressively, show these unique picks like the Victor, show that individuality, and make a case for potentially an OPL team to pick them up as a sub or as a mainstay player. That's what you're going to see, is more players bringing out things that you don't expect, that you don't think is great. And I can't wait to see Command on Victor. He has been the one to pull out these champions. Karthus mid, you said, without the smite, without the funnel. He's the one that plays that as well.
Now he's on Victor. So Command taking Cleanse into this lane as well with Airy. So normally with Victor, I mean, it's been a while. We really haven't seen Victor in the new rune meta. To be quiet. Oh no, maybe it was at the start. It was at the very start. We saw a lot of Electrocute, I think, at the start. We went to Comet. Now we're back to Airy, considering that your Q is going to proc that. And give yourself a shield, I believe. Yes.
Well, the biggest problem with him is timing your recalls to fit with your Hex Core. And if he can't do that effectively, it becomes so difficult for him to maintain laning pressure for LeBlanc.
Sure.
So for Command, it's going to be all about, does he get ganked? Does he get pressured out too early? Or can he sustain in that lane and recall on his own terms?
That is, by the way, Alien Invader Heimerdinger.
And Zombie Brand.
Skin. Yep, and Zombie Brand's 820 as well, I think.
I tell you what, Bryce, Ejim, Paul would be happy because they have synergized.
Ah, they have. They got the legacy skins on Darksided. So that's good enough.
He's all about color matching.
He is.
Which, to me, that's not synergy. That's just, that's
I think
easy
that's
to
the
do.
spawn response, but I'll be honest, color synergy is important already.
Oh, not a level 2 gank
1
again.
gank. Yale comes up and first blood to the aggressive top laner.
It's a level 2 gank.
All right.
Mammoth Academy do it so often as well. And Framer just caught sleeping, not paying the respect that he needs to. Gets punished, rightfully so. Yele once again being effective early. ZZZ with a lead, with a kill. And we saw in the previous game, Darius without a kill was already aggressive against Mundo. Now with first blood, that is going to be difficult for Framer to just hold without any help from Cappy.
Now Cappy's mid, but oh, whoa, it's so hard to hit a LeBlanc. K-Pop has just walked up to
caught.
Cappy. And guess what? Dracon's here as well. Goodbye. Not the best start from Darksided.
I don't know how Mammoth Academy have pulled this off as well.
How'd they just leave lane and no one knew?
They had to get out of lane against a Heimerdinger Brand, who should be able to perma-shove this wave from level 2 onwards. Get up, track where Cappy is, and get the kill. That is great just priority, great forethought from the Mammoth Academy lane. And really well done, and a well-earned kill from them there.
And you've got double buffs on a Morgana support. If that wasn't obnoxious enough, just versing a Morgana support, K-Pop is going to be throwing out bindings left, right, and center. Top wave is pushing in, and mid lane is pretty much ungankable. Cappy will go down and get the Scuttle Crab, but a beautiful start by Mammoth Academy, already up so much. And it's 3 minutes into the game.
It's completely unexpected, is what I want to say. You really expected Heimerdinger Brand to control this bot lane. All you can do on the Mammoth Academy side is clear the wave as best you can with the Ashe W, the Morgana W, and try and sustain some of the poke with your Black Shield. That was your best case scenario pre-game. Just try and live through everything. Deal with the pressure. But instead, they've been proactive. Got a roam off. Got out of lane, and now Darkseid is not pushing. Yes, they're trying to bait Cappy in here, get a gank off. It's going to be difficult to execute. Does get on K-Pop, though.
K-Pop will flash away. Black Shield there as well, and Cappy won't be able to get anything else but a Summoner Burnt on the support of Mammoth. So immediately for Darkseid, you're going to be questioning, where do they find their way back into this game? And yes, it is so early. No, things are not over, but already a couple of issues. Ecotoxic getting bullied out. In the mid wave, help me, says Owo. Yele, where are you? He's on the top side of the map. Immediately, ZZZ. He's a bullying frame up on Bioforge Darius. Beautiful skin for beautiful plays.
Well, you were saying, how do they get back into the game?
Well, look, that was an oversight from me. How do they counter this lead?
They need to just be patient. Don't try and right the ship right now. Don't try and save everything right now. Just slow the game down, let it stabilize, and just wait it out. Because if you try and go pound for pound with Mammoth Academy, try and match their aggression, that is, in my opinion, probably the worst thing you could do.
That's right. Quick thinkers, quick players, Framer. Just going to be sitting against his turret as Yele backs off after attempted lane gank that goes nowhere. And Cappy right now just trying to help Command push out the wave. Oh, really the only one getting shoved in here, and because of those double buffs down in the bottom lane, K-Pop and Drakon, I think they got early level 4. They're able to bully out Ecotoxic. And Command still getting bullied out, even with Cappy there.
Well, at this point, he needs to recall. He's completely out of mana. He was probably calling Cappy to say, hey, reset this wave and get me out of here. Let me reset. Now, mid lane for Darkseid, it is the last bastion of hope in terms of laning phase. And like I said, all they need to do is slow it down, let the game stagnate a little bit, don't try and match the aggression from Mammoth Academy, and things will fix themselves. You will start to generate a little bit more kill praise from that mid lane. The Victor is going to kill LeBlanc in the 1v1.
Yep.
As long as there isn't a gank, he's fine. Obviously, like you said, it's almost ungankable. Getting someone on top of LeBlanc, unless she has just used her distortions, almost impossible. Yaylee here, sneaking out the dragon though.
Yeah, about to say, Mammoth are just always feeling like they're one step ahead. Yaylee gets the Infernal. And Drakon and K-pop just go and walkabout, as usual. I was going to say though, Tegan, I was going to say something at one point, but you know me. I probably
You've lost it. You've cooked it.
No, I've cooked it. The old carbon cook. Look, you say something and come back to me and I'll see if I'm ready.
Alright. Down in this bot lane though, getting pushed in, well, you wouldn't really expect it from the Heimer brand. They have so much ability to push in themselves. It does let Cappy get in there. Owo going on command here.
It's a kill threat, but it's just been turned around. Owo, one more hit. The Ignite isn't going to tick over. Command
does get him.
Goes down. And the first kill of the mid lane. Straight to Owo.
ZZZ now looking for the kill up top as well.
The dunk. The flash. ZZZ, I think a bit of mess execution. Yayleigh's here. Trying to finish off the kill, but he's just going to have to flash in anyway. Yaylay going to be traded off.
If you're Framer, you're happy there.
Fiesta.
You trade the flash against your lane opponent who started with first blood. Then you force a flash from the Trundle as well. That's about as well as that could have went.
Well, immediately, Darkseid are getting a response. I think that's all you can ask for at this stage. But Mammoth still 2k gold ahead. And an interesting early game to start us off.
We still haven't seen Cappy get really effective anywhere.
And pause. No, we're in a pause, by the way.
Well, as I was saying,
don't get too upset. It's all right. We'll
I'm always upset when we pause.
Oh, me too.
Pauses are the worst part of League of Legends.
Let's actually talk like mind for a second, right? They always talk about it in the OPL. When you're sitting at home for the OCS, what's the difference between sitting in the studio? Because when you sit for a pause, your mental games.
Easy. You can talk.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. I believe you can at least. Is you can talk through pauses. I definitely did. I definitely did.
So we had a player DC, by the way, for everyone sitting at home. So someone's going to reconnect, and then we'll jump back in. But yeah, walk me through a little bit about the difference between OCS pause, OPL pause.
Well, in OPL, you can't see a thing. You have to just sit there. You can stare at your screen, lay back, close your eyes, whatever. You just try and keep stock of the game in your head, know what's happening, where the players are. At home, you can still talk. Maybe right now, Darkseid are probably talking about, hey, let's chill out, make sure we just keep playing passive. As we saw up top side, they get the trade in a pretty disadvantageous position. If they can keep doing things like that, which is just absorb pressure, they'll come into the mid-game even. So this is a decent break for them to just sort of calm everything down, make sure they are aware of what's going on the map, they know what just happened in top, and when it comes out of the pause, they need to be pretty proactive in keeping track of everything, because that's what a lot of people struggle with. Is after a pause, especially an extended pause, you just sort of lose sight of what was happening in the game.
Yeah, that's what I was more curious about, is the flow. Does it change from OCS to OPL? It's still a pause, pause.
Yeah, it's always going to suck, and you're always just going to forget something. Like time is just, in the game, you're just so actively thinking the whole time about everything that's happening.
Stopwatch, you have a stopwatch on the side as well. You're like, blue.
Not that.
Is that considered cheating, do you think, having a stopwatch on the side? For timers, if you could have like a little timer thing here and you go red, boom, like a button, you know, like those Stream Deck things.
You know they have them in the game now.
Yeah, I know, but you have to press tab, and sometimes tab can be distracting.
I think tab's a lot easier than having stopwatch.
If you had a little machine there that you go boop, and it just has a timer for you.
Again, it's in the game.
That sounds expensive. But I feel
say
like that's a Kickstarter thing.
I would say. In the OPL, probably not allowed, because they're only allowed to have the League of Legends client and Notepad running and their voice communications, so probably can't do it here.
Yeah.
But at home, too much effort.
Oh, I'm still on this pause thing. What was it like sitting next to Crazy and knowing you can't speak to Crazy and you just have to look at his face?
I didn't look at him.
Why not?
It's a pause.
Can't you communicate like facial?
In a pause in the OPL, what I'm doing is just looking straight at the screen, trying to think about what's happening, what the timers are, how we play from the end of that pause. That's it. I'm not trying to think of, hey, is Crazy doing something stupid?
What's Crazy?
He pulling a face?
I'm not saying Crazy's going to be pulling a face, but I feel like Crazy out of all of the X5 members would be the funniest guy. Was he the funniest guy or was it Treasy?
That was easily Treasy.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, 528 was up there.
Oh, was he?
He puts
oh,
out
he
some
was.
banger Twitter videos.
No wonder they're good mates. I mean, I got called out on Twitter last week. That was absolutely baloney. 528 and Crazy, they're good mates. I don't know why he denied it.
Oh, I can confirm they are good friends. I was talking to 528 at Smash, actually.
Oh, how is he?
I'm not going to say what we're talking about.
Okay.
Out of respect, that conversation will remain private, but they are good friends. And he confessed that the banter on Twitter with you was just that. It was just banter to,
good.
you know,
Good.
have a little dig at you.
Of course, social media is to be taken seriously, but yeah. What is 528 doing these days?
What do you mean? He's living.
Obviously, he's not if he's not in the OCS. Welcome back. And so now you know exactly what happens during pauses.
Yeah, nothing.
Do you want to update us on this game, Tegan?
Yeah, sure. Framer just traded up top side, bot side. Mammoth Academy still keeping pressure on the Heimerdinger, the brand, where you wouldn't really expect that. And now at level 6, I was saying before, Ash has a lot of arrow targets. Both Heimer and Brand, great targets, especially Brand.
Yeah. Bit of sustain there. Vampire Acceptor picked up, but I like this first buy from ZZZ. He went back and he picked up the, that bloody item called again?
Executioner's Call?
Yeah, that's right. Going towards Immortal Reminder, but first item.
You're meant to be the name guy. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. But I always want to call it Avarice Blade. I don't know why.
That's been removed.
Yes, I know. A while ago, a good old Draven item command. Losing heavily on these trades. But immediately, hello. Ooh. Drakon, he's got his arrow game on. Pyroclasm, moving away from it. K-Pop, he'll take the Ignite, gets burnt. Oh, almost max range. Frolic runs away. Meanwhile, Chaos Storm. Oh, whoa. Is that the clone? I think that was the clone.
He's going back in, though.
He just goes to command. And Mammoth Academy, across all the map, say howdly diddly.
Again, when we see the tempo rise, Mammoth Academy benefit from it. Bot side, I said it before. The second Ash has arrow, there are so many great targets. Down bot, they hit the arrow, they get a kill. There is no two ways about it. If they hit Heimer or Brand, they will die. It will be chained with a Morgana bind, potentially even the ultimate. There is no way out. You might be able to trade a kill. That is the best case scenario. Back in mid lane, Darkseid try to make a play with Cappy coming in, and instead, Owo turns it around. Quick reaction.
No hook shot. Goodbye. Yum, 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 yum. Yele takes a bite at a good-looking legs Camille.
You thought it was Cho'Gath there for a second. That's what that sounded like.
No, he's Chomp. Cho'Gath. No, sorry. Trundle used to be one of my most played champions. Just I played him back in top. Trinity Force first.
Yet again, though, Mammoth Academy, they're just looking aggressively for kills everywhere. You would have thought right there that was the end of it. Cappy took a little bit of poke, but it was safe. Yele goes in, solo dive, gets the kill, and as soon as it starts speeding up, Mammoth Academy just benefiting so much, and now Darkseid, almost 4,000 gold down at 10 minutes is huge.
It's massive. They
need to cauterize the wound.
Well,
stop taking the fights.
They've got the Brazil already, and Mammoth Academy moving forward from that. ZZZ again, Framer hasn't even popped the ulti. One more hit, but he can't get it off, and Darius continues to pummel this lane. Yale will sit in here in his place, and they're going to look for first turret.
Trundle, notoriously great turret taker. Framer, no teleport, so even though the wave will fall apart, you just buy time for the next wave.
What?
I'm going to go ahead and say he was DC.
I feel like that's why we had a DC, so do I say it or do you?
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
Oh. And, like, Mammoth Academy can't do anything there. You can't just let him go. It's a competitive game.
It's a competitive... It ain't solo queue.
That sucks, but unfortunate for Darkseid. That's just going to compound on the problems they're facing right now. And you'd want to say, you know, when Mammoth Academy makes something happen top, you could answer at bottom potentially.
ZZZ.
He's going to walk away.
He's so low, and Framer doesn't have ulti to chase him, so they let Rift Herald go, but across all the map, T-Gun, you're right. Every single portion is taking a comfortable lead. Owo jumped on again, and Cappy this time, it's not going to be the clone, but still turned on anyway. The Ignite's there. Yele pillars him up, and goodbye. Hextech ultimatum for nothing. And even the Chaos Storm burn from command.
Just biting off a little too much there was Cappy. I guarantee right now, Darkseid are thinking we need to make something happen. We don't want to just slowly bleed out. We want to try and get back into the game. So you see them making these overzealous plays. Cappy trying to 1v1 LeBlanc at this stage in the game. That is not going to happen.
3 levels difference there as well.
And the item difference as well on top of that. Worst case scenario if Owo gets out. Best case scenario, Owo just trades the kill instantly. And we see Yele there time and time again. He's in the right place at the right time. Picks up the kill.
Oh, Toxic and Frolic want to make something happen. The flash, the grenade misses. Drakon just dodges it all. Arrow 2 avoids the Seer. Finally, the last shot, the Pyroclasm, the burn. Drakon lives. 2 ultis, everything burned.
There was a real threat there of Drakon trying to dodge things until he died. Don't get me wrong, he dodged all the important abilities, didn't get stunned. But if K-Pop wasn't there right on time with the Black Shield, he would have fallen down. K-Pop just in time gets the Black Shield off, and as you said, everything burnt from Darksided doesn't net them a kill. And again, they're really reaching for these plays right now.
Trying to be ambitious. Drakon is low, but remember, Toxic and Frolic both use their ultimate. Cappy down in the bot side, and K-Pop only has the Black Shield to rely on to save his AD carry.
Cappy here is unseen as well, but at the same time, where else is he going to be on the map at this point? ZZZ has done a great job up topside, making sure he's not there. In the mid side, they went and collected their blue. Cappy has to be bottom right now, so Mammoth Academy, even without vision of him, they know that, they back off. No possibility of a gank coming in from Camille, and another Infernal Drake when Mammoth Academy are already so far ahead.
Yum, yum.
That is not fair for Darksided.
Almost as good as the production issue, you know, that we had in that break there. 3 minutes. That's what I'm giving this as a time frame, T-Gun, before Darksided make their next move. Cappy goes into the back of the pit. So I want you to quote me on that. 3 minutes time. I hope you got the reference before. It was an inside joke, you know, just for us.
I mean, I don't think it was very inside. I think you said we were eating chicken.
Well, was good chicken.
I'm not complaining.
You know what else, you know, really gets me going? Double Infernal. Now, obviously the chicken wasn't spicy, but Double Infernal is. 12%.
What do you mean, obviously?
Okay, obvious to us. Chicken wasn't spicy. Well, because we're not going...
I always call Cappy. Ooh, doesn't stay long enough to get the chain on.
But at the moment, Darkseid, at least they're making this effort to try and get some picks, to try and find someone. Although at the moment, who do you get? If you find someone alone, you hope it's Drakon. That's it. But even Drakon can use the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and he's out.
Catching Owo is still a very real possibility, especially with Cappy. You get the ultimatum down, it doesn't matter how many distortions he has left. He is not leaving. So they just need to get the right people proactively.
Here it is.
Instead, it's so difficult. They're looking for it now.
Cosmic Grenade again. Black Shield a little bit late. They just turn it immediately. Oh no! Darksided, valiant effort. But Mammoth Academy, they survive.
When the 2v2 pressure down bot is flipped on its head and Ash Morgana can walk into a trap and come out the victors, you know you're in dire straits.
Speaking of Victor, Command, Ignite, cleanse the way. Under turret, they finally get him. Chaos Storm used as well.
Just like I said, if you get the Hextech ultimatum down, it doesn't matter how mobile you are, you will die. Darkseid, they find an answer, but Yele
just ults Command, walks in.
Hit the turret.
A little bit ambitious. He'll heal up, but he dies. So turret was going down anyway. Darkseid to get something off it.
This is what I was saying before the game, is Mammoth Academy never see a fight they don't want to take. And that is the inconsistency. There is no need for them to be so greedy there. For Owo to go in initially, looking to poke them down, pick them before the Herald goes down, and then Yele popping his ultimate, drawing tower aggro before the tower goes down. Now, them being aggressive has netted them this huge lead. It's spots like that where if they can rein it in, they will be a very real contender to win the playoffs at the end.
And 2 kills just got hand-fed to Command. Level 11, he's caught up to Owo. And that Hex Core has just been upgraded as well. So I'm expecting Death Ray. Yep, has been upgraded. Chaos Ray, yeah, Death Ray, that's the one. It's been a while. K-Pop. Getting Ecotoxic before you get him, but Enchanted Crystal just launched down. Drakon doing a lot. K-Pop goes golden as he doesn't even find Frolic. This is a disjointed fight. They will get Ecotoxic, but the Pyroclasm almost destroys K-Pop. On the back end, though, here comes Darius, and Frolic has found himself caught out as ZZZ picks up 1-2.
K-Pop barely survives, so they don't even get a trade kill. And again, the second the arrow hits, someone is dying. It is as simple as that for Mammoth Academy right now. You have such an obvious go button, and this is why people have loved Ash for so long. Now Framer and Command are going to try and defend this turret.
I mean, should they be here? Owo's back in. Framer almost caught out. ZZZ brings him back, and even the Mundo can't survive that.
No, there was no reason to try and defend that turret. Again, it's all about just giving up objectives when they're gone. Don't try and defend something. Try and right what is a mistake. It's as simple as that. You've already got caught. You've made the mistake. Don't compound it. Don't go in again. The second they do, Mammoth Academy, they recognize, hey, you shouldn't be here. You are not allowed to do this. They get the kill on Framer. Now up 9,000 gold. And you were right. 3 minutes. And it just went pear-shaped.
Well, I thought Darksider would make a bit of a move, but they've tried. Right now, Mammoth Academy, they were born in it. Molded by it. They show each and every week that they love this meta. A minute 20 till Baron. Minute 45. What is the next dragon? If it's another Infernal, I have to say, unlucky. Unlucky.
You know, you're a Mammoth fan, and you've just quoted Bane for them. Bane does not win in that movie.
No, but okay, all right. Well, I don't know, Tegan. It's the only thing I could think of.
Where do your allegiances lie at this point?
I have no bias towards anyone. I am an unbiased caster.
Yep, the unbiased caster. I've heard that one before.
You just keep switching me towards Mammoth.
No, you keep switching you towards Mammoth.
No, it's because I'm not. Literally not.
The Darkside are doing what they need to do.
Oh, K-Pop.
I love that they blue trinketed this as a bait, though.
Oh, they found
it.
They
got it. That is... we saw that in EU so long ago. I can't even remember the team that did it.
Because they blue trinket,
yes.
you're like, oh, they're not there.
Yes. And Darksider just did that, baiting K-Pop, and they need to keep doing something like that.
Easy.
Sit in bushes. Use the cheese to draw yourself back into this game, because playing standard, that will not do it.
And a good flash. Framer dies on the other side of the map, but now Darksider almost lose Ecotoxic after a flash.
Owo just killed Framer without igniting. He also does not have Morellonomicon.
He has no magic resist apart from Null Magic Mantle.
He is killing a Mundo with no healing reduction. That is insane. That is a testament to how strong he is right now. You're right, Mundo doesn't have much itemization against magic, but he is still Mundo. Except Owo is extremely far ahead from where he should be.
Frolic, should he be here? One member versus three. Frolic almost deleted. The response doesn't come through. Shut down to Frolic, but look at the other side of the map. Finally, the turret goes down. Owo takes it.
Darksider, again, that's what they need to be doing, is finding these picks off on the side, but Mammoth Academy, even when they are a little too far forward on one side, are gaining an objective elsewhere. They have to commit 3 people up there. Owo had already killed Framer, so sits down, sits on the turret, takes it down, and even though they finally got a kill, gold still going in the favor of Mammoth Academy.
Darksider unable to pick up an Elemental Drake as of yet. Here we go again, though. T-Gun flash away, and Framer should not be out here. Now the Ignites drop down, and another kill to LeBlanc.
It's happening again. On whatever voice comms they're using, I guarantee Framer is upset at himself for letting that happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's saying to himself, that was so obvious. LeBlanc why wouldn't she sit there? There's nowhere else on the map she needs to be right now. Nets another kill on the Mundo. And when you're behind as Mundo, it's so difficult to play. You don't have the utility of someone like an Ornn or a Poppy, who, even when behind, still just have these buttons that they can use that it doesn't matter. Mundo is based on the gold that he has, and right now, he isn't tanky at all, which means he's essentially a giant minion.
Very far behind. Gold going to Owo is always a pleasant feeling for the LeBlanc. And 2 items now going towards that Morellonomicon, which means Framer, if he sees the LeBlanc, is going to be even quicker in the deletion, and that Ignite never going to be needed to be used. So right now, Darksider, they're positioning around the Baron, just trying to get some vision closer towards it. Mammoth Academy controlling all of this, and It's going to be very difficult for Darksiders to even contest this, but they don't even care. Owo's just going for the kill again. Oh, Lord. It hurts.
It's always a feels bad moment.
Do it again.
When...
I'm Cappy.
Oh, no. He's baiting.
I have to say, is that baiting or is that...
It is. He's trying to draw them away from the Baron. They are trying to do the Baron right now, so Owo just drawing as much threat as he can. Mammoth Academy, though, however, they are going to get this Baron.
They're already doing it. Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes out. Who does it hit?
Brand.
It has actually hit Brand on the other side. Again, Owo takes him with him. 8-1 and 3.
The long-distance sniper. Dragon hits him from the Baron pit. Owo there to clean it up. Oh, it's... As tough as this is to say, this one is done unless Darksider can pull out a miracle.
Look, Tegan, I think that's fair. At the moment, we normally try and look at both perspectives, but looking at Darksider, they're trying. Mammoth Academy are walking all over them. Ecotoxic trying to defend this inhibitor, but his turrets are doing absolutely nothing. Yale walks away, so maybe Mammoth Academy going to have to wait before getting that inhib, but they'll just back away with Baron. No, Owo says I'm in. He'll get stunned up.
He's out.
Don't hit the clone.
He's clear. He's safe.
Oh, look at that. Woo! It's nothing. It's
at this point, we think, how does this affect the long term? Darksider, they were starting to build up momentum, and they've just been completely stopped dead in their tracks. For Mammoth Academy, this pushes them even further towards the playoff spot that we said
right, here we go.
Might be in doubt.
CCZ, he should have died there. He'll drag them both back in, won't be able to dunk, so a good kill response from Darksider.
Small respite. And again, it's small things like that for Mammoth Academy where it feels like if they can just shore up those little mistakes. There's no reason for ZZZ to be there when 4 members of his team have just recalled. And he knows that. I guarantee that. Yeah. It's just they know how far ahead they are. They're getting a little bit lax on how they close out the game. But in 20 seconds, he will have teleport, likely join up with his team. But I was saying, how does this affect the long term? Because for Darksided, they have to just treat this game as it's just gone. Everything went wrong early for them and it just snowballed, compounded. For Mammoth Academy, now with a little bit more safety in that top 6 spot. Oh,
creative with his angles. Distortion, right, left, and then in. Already Ecotoxic is dead. Mammoth Academy and Enchanted Crystal Arrow will miss. Hits the goalpost and...
Is that the first one he's missed all game?
I think that's the first one he's missed. They'll hit the inhibitor and Darksided. They're on their last legs here. Mammoth walk forward with confidence as always.
Best case for Darksided, they just lose 2 inhibitors.
Next one, that's Owo getting the brand. Now onto Cappy, and Cappy drops, and this is just a stop for Mammoth. They walk forward, confident as always. Command, the last person alive, but even ZZZ brings him back in, and Mammoth from the get-go have showcased huge here. Command will go golden, but another win. And this time, Mammoth, they started off the split a little bit shaky. They move up to Mprox and Dire Cubs, 6 and 4.
I tell you what, I don't like it, but they earned it at the end there, the kill farming they were doing. I hate when people do that, but Mammoth Academy, they earned it. They got that little bit more fun at the end, and that game, that was... We were talking about how Intuition's games are generally never in doubt. That was never in doubt.
I think for Intuition, they'd be looking at this and be like, okay, now Mammoth's a real threat. Because Mammoth started the split a little bit shaky. But there are moments where you say, hey, they push pedal to the metal. Remember when bigger teams in the OPL were scared of Regicide because they were like, yeah, look, they have the ability to surprise. When I say scared, I mean like they're unpredictable.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's saying as old as time. If you're a master at martial arts, you don't fear the person that's practiced one kick 10,000 times. You fear the amateur because you don't know what they'll do.
That's wise.
That's exactly what people were worried about with Regicide, and now with Mammoth Academy. You know that they're going to be aggressive, but you don't know where it's going to come from. And in this game, it turned out it came from everywhere. So
yeah, that's right. That was a
little easier to predict.
Not too much more to say about that, to be fair. Darksided, unfortunately, 2 and 8. They'll sit with ground 0, so that's pretty much it for them. But 6 and 4, Mammoth looking good in week 10 of the OCS. Don't go anywhere. 5-minute break coming up. Welcome back, folks, to the very last game of OCS Week 10. My name's Jake Asterix Otipenko. Bradley Teagan Seymour sits next to me. Now we're on to Order Academy taking on Chiefs Academy, the Saturday Shadow matchup, which means this is going to be played in the OPL Saturday night. But we're going to show you the OCS version first.
I mean, for the OPL version, that's so important for their standings. Chiefs just lost to Direwolves. Order have had a little bit of trouble, but they were expected to be a great team this split.
And the OCS is just as important. Order Academy are a team that are sitting 3-6 right now. If they get this win, 4-6, they start catching up. They're like Mammoth Academy. They start making the run up. 3-6 is not Red Rover. Over Red Rover, that's the one. Ogre.
I mean, you're right, but at the same time, the way you tried to get that across, that was a struggle. You're spot on, though. If they can get this win, start there, push towards the playoffs, they can still make it.
They can.
But it's just a difficult spot to be in. And against Chiefs Academy, who have looked infallible except to intuition. And slight mistakes against other teams. For example, against, I believe it was Tectonic Academy, where they struggled a bit early game, and then Gunkrab just went absolutely insane and carried them. They're just a solid team all around.
But much like Order, right? So look at me in the eyes. Thank you very much. Much like Order Academy, or the Order OPL roster, Order are a team that have had big expectations, but just haven't started the split out. Now, sure, in Order Academy, there has been a beautiful lineup. There's a couple of players we know. We know Chungy. We know, I think Kwaku we're starting to get to know as well. But Chiefs Academy, look at that roster. And now Farmer wants a wife.
I will say, Emprox, formerly on Emprox, Farmer now coming to Chiefs Academy because Gunkrab has been subbing in for Tectonic in the OPL. Kaios, who was formerly filling that ADC role, is actually a jungle mate. As Denian, the coach of Chiefs Academy, has told me.
Which I think he did fine in the AD carry position, to be quite honest. They changed up the priorities on Chiefs. Remember, we talked about it last week, Tegan.
Yeah. This week, however, they've lost 3 bans. They subbed in Farmer a little too late.
Okay.
In terms of affecting the draft, Chiefs are on red side. Yeah, it sucks losing bans, but at the same time, you're still happy. There's going to be a lot of strong picks to get through, and you're going to pick up 2 of them.
A lot of strong picks. So what are you hoping to see that's OP?
Well, first of all, not Rumble. Don't do it again.
Yeah, look, Rumble on Gunkrab. There was nothing wrong with Gunkrab on the pick. It was just very passive for a Gunkrab.
Well, something definitely wrong because Gunkrab is a ADC who has been carrying their team time and time again.
Rumble AD carry? Like, come on.
And he did not look good. He looked like a shell of his former self.
Were you talking to Denning? Can you reveal this information of what he was meant to pick? No?
I would never do that.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's pretty disrespectful.
I don't know. All right.
You can ask me, sure. I don't blame you for asking, but I'm not going to tell you.
I don't know.
Tegan,
I come from a perspective of like they probably meant to do this, but AP bottom lanes. There's Rumble one side. On the other side, there's things like Vladimir. There's Heimerdinger. Tonight we've pretty much seen Heimerdinger bot. Like that has been the staple here tonight.
And I mean, with good reason. It was played so much internationally. They showed the absolute strength of it. We just haven't seen it so much tonight. It's looked pretty, for the lack of a better term, bad.
The one time we saw it go well was on Crimson Gaming. So that was when Raining picked it up. But yesterday, Raining picked it up again, and it didn't look good. So
yeah, I was about to say, you said it's going well, but they lost in 40-something minutes.
To Mammoth Academy?
No, Mammoth Academy won today.
To Tectonic? No.
I have it written in my book. Here, I'll have a quick look.
Go look at your
I've got everything in this book, mind you.
There's a lot of teams. I mean, like, look,
Legacy Genesis.
Thank you very much. So
you've derided Carbon too much, so you can't even remember his victories.
To give us a bit of slack, there's 14 teams. Now, you name a league where there's 14 teams. They may do best of 3s overseas, but over here, we prefer the Magic.
There's a horrible justification.
By the way.
Horrible justification.
We do best of 1s, I know, but there's a lot of teams.
I prefer best of 1s in a long season.
If I had my way, I would do best of 3s for all games.
That's silly, in my opinion.
It would be fun.
I think so. Players are always going to argue for best of 3s, but I think best of 1s in terms of long seasons is always better because it places more worth on each match. You have to take it so seriously. Whereas in a best of 3, you can experiment a little bit in each game.
I just like casting, and I just best of 3 times 8. Whew! That's actually 7, by the way.
How do we get back to the game?
Sure.
Chiefs Academy, I said before, they're a strong roster. They've shown carry threats in multiple roles now. Since Gunkrab has been away, he's playing in the OPL as a sub. They have to play through different members. And for Order Academy, generally they've just played through Chungi. They live and die off him. And they need to show that they can get away from that. Play through Style, play through Quaku, play through 100%. Alani. Try and find someone else that can step up, because it seems to me if Chungi doesn't get Yasuo, he's lackluster. Okay. He isn't performing to the expectations you have when he plays with all of these resources given to him.
Yeah, no, that's a fair statement as we do jump into picks and bans, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that Chiefs lose 3 bans due to a late roster submission. So they will not have any bans in this first phase, which means we might see something like Quaku's Poppy as a priority. We might see Order Academy maybe prioritize the Yasuo.
I don't think anyone can forget, since we have to wait through the bans for Chiefs Academy every time. That's the worst part.
I mean, do you think
Tournament Realm needs a no ban. It needs
I hate
a
that
skip.
in solo queue, by the way. Someone doing none. Don't you think that's just...
They think they're faker. That's what's happening.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yep.
It's an ego thing.
Yep. I mean, I do it as well.
You don't
or they might be AFK.
No, because if you're AFK, you get kicked.
No, you don't.
You do.
No, you don't.
What, in the ban phase?
Yes.
Is that none?
Yes.
They should get kicked.
Yeah. Screw them if they had something happen and had to step away from their computer.
It's all about the ban phase, Tigo.
Oh
it's an important time.
Rakan, Talon coming through, so leaving a lot of strong things up. Like I said, Chiefs Academy generally going to pick up 2 great picks here, just by nature of having so few bans. Order Academy seeming like they want to leave it so there's potentially 5 strong picks, so they can give away 2 and get 3 for themselves. It's a pretty reasonable strategy. Whenever a team loses bans, it doesn't just affect them, it also affects the other team. As a coach, you have to rethink your entire pick ban strategy. And Order Academy probably didn't have a lot of notice with this as well. So, difficult to sort of come up with it on the fly. Final ban Kindred, which we've seen a few times tonight. Pretty reasonable pick as well. I would say S tier picks left up, so things like Darius and Mundo are both up there.
I'd call Heimer S at the moment as
Talia, Heimer with Fiddlesticks.
We've seen banned tonight all the time on red side, so first pick Aatrox for Order.
Yep.
Most likely Quaku, but can also be played mid.
So when it's played mid, we also sometimes see it played with Smite. It's a pretty niche thing that you're not going to see pretty much the second 8-14 hits. That some champions like Aatrox and Talon could take Smite mid and just be a real nuisance. They would start taking away camps from the opposing jungler. Anytime they would roam, it's so difficult to deal with them. So, possibility tonight. That being said, more likely to go top if I had to guess. But the beauty of it is how flexible it is.
Well, finally tonight, though, Swain's been picked up. So we haven't seen that. It's probably going to be in the bottom lane with the Morgana, or we're going to see that switched around. A bit more versatility, though, as of recent. Remember, it was Swain's locked in, that's bot Swain.
Yeah.
Now, it can be changed up a little bit more so.
You still assume it's bot. You would assume it's bot until proven otherwise. Picked with Morgana, you always want to have some sort of CC with the Swain.
Hello, Ziggs.
That, I assume, is also bot.
That's a nice counter. I would say it is. Because you have the Morgana, maybe not so much, but against the Swain.
So my worry is that if he gets hit by a bind or a root from Swain, he is very easy to kill.
Realistically, he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be hit.
Why? Just dodge it.
Yeah.
Just pink the Evelyn.
Just dodge or
just
have
kite the Nasus.
So by the time Morgana throws out a binding, she's dead.
No, this is such a kill lane on both sides. Zyra lands a root on someone, and suddenly all their health is gone. Ziggs will get a rotation of skills off. Zyra herself does a lot of damage. On the other side, Morgana lands a bind or Swain lands a bind, and suddenly they're in threat of dying as well. Also, when junglers interact with this lane, I want to give the advantage to Chiefs Academy. They have much more reliable catch compared to Order Academy, who are going to live and die by the Zyra root.
I think I'm quite surprised considering that you only have 3 bans. It's dictated by Order Academy. This is a result. Ziggs, Zyra bottom lane, but you've sacrificed your jungle pool. Chungi lost his Yasuo. So Order Academy, although they get a big picks in Aatrox, which is, remember, in the 8.13 mid-patch change has just been shot up to priority.
Yep.
Now I'm saying, is it all worth it?
Well, without even touching on that, I want to say Chiefs Academy, they didn't counter pick on the Aatrox. They haven't picked a top or a mid, assuming Swain is bot, of course, and Morgana support. They end up going with Graves, and now Order Academy, they can double ban top laners and solidify it as top. As long as they just remove the two least favorite matchups for Kwaku, not even the two best matchups against Aatrox,
Darius
just
and Mundo?
whatever he struggles against. It's more personal.
Okay.
Darius is probably the best one. You just want to take him into the lane and just be aggressive against him. All you're really trying to do is stop the Aatrox from hard clearing the wave and roaming, essentially.
Ornn ban, though. So you have to assume that Aatrox is top.
Well, Ornn can be played mid, as we've seen with Legacy Genesis.
But he's a classic.
He can also be played support. You know, with Zyra, obviously they wouldn't take it there, assumedly. But, you know, Ornn has shown prominence in multiple lanes.
That's 3 top lane bans anyway, because you look at Ornn being in that position. So Fiora, the final ban. And now we question, how does this change? Because Aurelia, yes, open, most likely going to be mid. And
More than likely. Again, flex pick. Depends on how Panda decides, you know, what he wants to take into the Aatrox. If they're saving top for last, to me, they're really just trying to make sure it is Aatrox top.
Yep.
Make sure that they aren't baited into an Aatrox mid. Again, Aurelia flexes between top and mid as well. So it seems like they're placing a lot of priority in making sure they get the counter pick on the Aatrox and find the matchup.
All right. So jungler actually found, but I am so curious about this Order Academy composition. How do you round this out? What are you actually looking for here? No.
I would... Oh, I don't want to see Veigar. I want to see... It is Veigar. Wow. I play with Veigar a lot in solo queue, actually. As a bot laner. I love Veigar. I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
I play primarily Zillion Veigar bot lane. It's hilarious and disgusting.
Okay.
In here, however, assuming it's going mid-solo against the Aurelia, or however Chiefs decide to round out their draft here.
What?
It's a difficult champion to play here. Heimerdinger, so it is Swain mid Aurelia top.
Or Swain top Aurelia mid.
Well, we'll wait till they trade it all out.
Sure.
Veigar as a champion. So the reason you don't see him so often in competitive is he is a simple champion to play against as long as you are aware of him. You get a Banshee's Veil or potentially a Mikhail's. Here they have Black Shield as well, and you play around his stun. As long as you play around his stun, he is very simple to deal with. So as long as Chiefs Academy play aware of that, they are fine.
Hold, T-Gun. Heimer's still mid.
I like it.
Hang on. Right.
It is Heimer mid.
Heimer mid. So Swain bot against Ziggs. So it's the original matchup we thought.
Well, it's as simple as like Swain with CC down bot lane is extremely great.
Yeah.
That's what you take. You take Swain, then you take a Thresh or a Morgana, potentially even Alistar, and you have a lot of presence in the lane. So it makes a lot of sense they committed to that. The Heimerdinger mid into Veigar. I have, gonna be honest, never seen this matchup before.
I have played this matchup from Veigar's point of view.
You have.
It is very fun.
This seems like an extremely niche matchup to have played.
It's, well, when you've played as much as I have in low elo T-Gun, you learn to embrace the beautiful things, and this is not one of them. This is a potent matchup, I'm going to say. Veigar...
Well, for sure.
No, Veigar loves this.
Well, the thing is, for Heimerdinger, as long as he has his turrets down, even if he gets stunned, as much as it sucks and he's going to take a lot of poke, he can still trade back. It's all about dodge that stun for Heimerdinger, and he will win this lane.
Well, we'll find out anyway. First-hand experience now is Omni and Chungy both surprising us here. Remember, Veigar can stack the turrets though, Tiga. Get a bit of AP
He
off.
can.
So, this is what I remember about it. Oh! Wait, next one. Hang on. Wait.
This is going to be the worst
Oh!
minigame.
Man!
The worst mini interaction.
I thought it was 2 shots. What
it
a
is
letdown.
3.
Hang on.
He's
5
done it.
gold.
He has gained 1 AP. I am proud of him.
And now we wait.
So for this game in general, for Order Academy,
We could just
as
sit
we
here and
watch
wait for the
this
next one.
worst minigame I've seen in my life, they need to show the ability to play through styled here. They've given their bot lane a lot of tools. They've taken this aggressive lane as a counter matchup to Swain Morgana. They've opted for the Ziggs Zyra. They need to show that it was worth it and show that styled can be a carry threat.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, if Chungy hasn't really had a great game, it hasn't looked great for Order Academy. In the same vein, Kwaku, now on Aatrox as well, another power pick for Order Academy.
He has very bold picks though, Tiga.
Well, they have all the tools for success here. It's all about, can they get it working? Can they execute well? Alani might even look for a cheeky level 2 gank here mid, but he's spotted out on the ward.
So he'll go straight towards Scuttle Crab, and you can see the response already. Swaith walking down. There's going to be a bit of conflict here as Alani versing Graves this early on. He's just used hook shot. He goes back in, gears up the uppercut, but Alani is going to take a brunt of this trade.
Order Academy have priority bot lane, though.
Good bot lane response. If that did not happen, Swaith and the rest of bot lane from Farmer Isla might able to find that kill, but Scuttle Crab now goes back to Swaith.
That bot priority saved Alani there. Like you said, he had already hookshotted. If Chiefs Academy had control bot lane, they would have been able to come up, cut him off, and get a really early either flash out of Alani or first blood. Instead, the Zig Zyra, naturally you would expect they push. They did do that, maintain the bot priority. And it feels like Alani should just sit in the bot side. He can't do that right now. Graves behind the Zigs.
Gonna force a flash, I think. Styled. He goes out, but he gets rooted in anyway. Not the best flash, and Swaith picks up first blood.
Yeah. Isla throws it pretty much in a straight line. Styled flashes pretty much in a straight line, and that's all she wrote.
Hate to see it.
Great gank there from Swaith. Just no respect paid from Order Academy. They knew he was bot side. He had just won the crab battle, and still, he's able to get in bot.
Unfortunately, heart torn in half. It's Kwaku. We're already bullying out this lane a little bit. It's not often you get to see Aurelia versus Aatrox, to be quite honest. Different lanes, usually.
Well, more often than Hymaning a Vega. That is for sure.
All right. Look at that. Stacked. He's already got 15 stacks.
He needs a lot more than that to be able to put this game on his back. Swaith now revisiting bot lane.
Yeah, even Huey has to flash. Swaith didn't even get in lane. Walks in anyway. Not sure why. Maybe to help shove, but Farmer and Isla. That keyword again tonight. Lane priority. Being showcased here by Chiefs Academy.
Well, you don't even expect Chiefs Academy to get priority down bot lane until level 6. Now, as far as their synergy goes, you see there the root from Swain pulling back the Zigs. You're really trying to maintain the ability to chain the CC. Either pull the Zigs or don't, but try and keep him out of the minions so Isla then can chain onto it. We saw there he got pulled directly on top of a minion. Isla couldn't do anything. So it's all about communication and knowledge of your teammate's champion there to get full effectiveness out of it.
Right now, look, mid lane is all I want to focus on. Wait for it. Stack. There we go. All about the stack.
This reminds me of when people cheer for ward kills.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when the crowd's really one-sided, like home turf. Oh, my lord. Come on, Chungy. Wait for it.
No, don't wait for it. It's
stacked. No, he doesn't do it.
Oh my gosh.
I'll just be here all day.
I feel like a golf commentator at this point. You're just whispering into the microphone.
Now,
Swaith revisiting bot again. No flash on either member here.
Vision of Empire hits both of them. Perfect stun again. Swaith gets his second kill. Bottom lane getting bullied, but hang on. Omni just found his end.
Now, let's start with the bot lane there. This is exactly what you see against Zyra all the time. Much like Brand, for example, easy to gank champion that has a lot of lane dominance. In mid lane, however, the second Alani gets some CC down, Chungy can chain that CC, Omni suddenly falls down. He needs to flash so early and pay so much respect, and if he doesn't do that, he's going to fall down again and again, especially now that Chungy is level 6.
Chungy has hit 6, but he has no flash. Whereas Omni held on to his, as you said, Clan's still there as well. But focusing around the mid lane, we know what Vega can be. Everyone knows from their solo queue experience that Vega will scale on and on and on and on. Tier first, picked up there by Order Academy's mid lane, and once again, we look for Chungy to do the work, but Kwaku, he's bullying around this top lane. 20 CS ahead. Panda struggling to get in the lane. This is slowly pushing towards Kwaku as well.
Well, yeah, he just so expertly kept this wave in a position where it is almost frozen in front of his turret.
Wow.
Even though Panda's getting a little bit of CS here, the wave is still stuck here. Kwaku would be smart to just leave it be. And that's what he's doing, trying to just hold it here. Swaith now invading in the blue side of Order Academy, but not getting anything done. Alani had just cleared it all out. And again, Panda zoned off more CS, and this is really great for Order Academy. They're struggling down bot side.
Was going to come up, but Panda's on the wrong side. Swathe coming forward, but it's not going to matter. Ultimate pop by Quakeku, and although he'll come back alive shortly, it doesn't matter. Ready to take the 1v2. Panda won't chase, but Swathe will. Waiting for the combos.
They're waiting out the ultimate here. Trying to make sure it fades away.
Swathe, end of the line. Doesn't have collateral damage. Waiting for the pullback in.
Oh,
survives Quakeku only just. Only just.
I thought Quakeku was going to pull it off and get a 1v2 there.
Yeah.
For Auto Academy. Now, before I was so rudely interrupted by Swathe and his gank, I was talking about how Quakeku doing such good work up in topside, freezing that wave, bullying around Panda, is incredibly important considering just how pear-shaped the bot side has went. Ziggs and Zyra, they're so gankable. They're constantly just worried about dealing with Swathe or anyone else appearing bot side that they can't use their range, use their poke to deal with the Swathe, Morgana. And when you can't do that, essentially you have lost the lane mentally. Now, once they hit level 6, that is Farmer and Isla, there is even more kill pressure. Morgana can happily flash in, Black Shield herself, drop her ultimate, and someone from Auto Academy is going to die.
As soon as that Demonic Ascension comes up, the Farmer, expecting a massive Demon Flare to just pop down Auto Academy. At level 4 and 5 respectively for the Ziggs Zyra. Now we wait. Infernal Drake on the bottom side, so I expect more priority to come down here. As you can see, both junglers are there waiting, trying to get to 6 first. Isla's been pretty accurate. As Huey only just dodges that one.
I would say for Isla, it's more threatening to not even throw your bind right now. Every time your bind is off cooldown, there's
like
a little bit of a
games,
reprieve. Yeah. There's a little bit of a reprieve when it's off cooldown, because you know you can't be caught right now. Whereas when you just sit there and don't even use it, the enemy team has to sit half a screen away of wherever you are and cannot walk up at this current moment for Auto Academy.
Well, because of all that priority, once again, keyword, down to the bottom side. Dragon's been hit, Panda just been in the front of it. Pops the Vanguard's edge, and underneath the turret, Quakeku gets 1v1.
Quakeku's ultimate had not come back up yet. He's going really aggressive before he probably should have, and pays the price, and now Dragon goes over to Swathe as well. Things all across the map going Chiefs Academy's way, even when Quakeku had built such a great early lead. Now, even in mid lane where Chungi had got that early assist, Alani had got that kill, he's still being out CS by Omni.
And even in the lane that originally got first blood, not first blood, but got killed, Chungi's down 10 to 20 CS. The turrets, Heimerdinger just left them and they got him the wave. Omni pushes it back towards the turret, and Chungi's still struggling a little bit here. The only person with the kill, Alani, hasn't made another appearance.
He needs to, I want to say, be up top right now, which he is. Like, coming back here in mid isn't going to net them much. The lane is already neutral. You're happy to be in a farm lane with Vega. Ideally, you would fix this top lane to be more in Quakeku's favor again. Losing that kill over to the Aurelia has released a lot of the pressure there was up here. Yes, you can still zone the Aurelia. That is going to happen for a long time, regardless of how many kills you sort of push over to her side. But if you can kill the Aurelia, suddenly the tower becomes a threat, and you force the Aurelia to have to roam, have to essentially be someone like a Shen or an Ornn who is out of lane, and that is not what you want when you're Panda on the Aurelia.
Yeah, that's right. Panda forced back even further, 30 CS behind, but the kill is going to make up for about 15 of that. 15 or 20 for a kill, I can't remember, I think it's about 15.
Even if you're up in CS, you still don't want to give over the kill, no matter how mathematical it is.
Definitely don't. Panda going back in. Quakeku this time does have the ultimate, and he'll walk back in. Stunned up, doesn't matter. Panda, Vanguard's Edge, not available right now. Half health for both top laners, but look in the lane. Alani.
It is about to kick off. Alani well positioned. Swathe coming up for a gank.
Quakeku pops the ultimate nice and early. He's going to be resurrected, but now Alani has to 1v2 for the duration. It doesn't matter. Perfectly timed stun. Second death for Quakeku.
Omni roaming up without any answer from Chungi. I believe Chungi had just recalled. Means that even though Quakeku got in, got some damage down, and used his ultimate well, didn't matter. Alani couldn't go in. There was no way they were going to win a 2v3 there. Even the 2v2 was doubtful. Now again, Chiefs Academy, proactive play. initiating the gank instead of trying to wait around and counter gank. Getting your mid lane active on the map, netting them another kill, and again on Swathe.
You're losing more and more on the top side of the map, and because of that result, I mean, Omni has the freedom to roam up, and he's 20 CS ahead now. Pushes the wave out, and Chungy just on the back foot of the play.
Speaking of CS difference, how often do you see a Ziggs struggling for CS in a lane? Because he is being bullied out by the Swain Morgana, Farmer, and Isla. Down 20 CS. That is a testament to just how much pressure they have had in this lane since those early ganks from Swathe.
Can't believe that, you know, something so aggressive like a Xayah, like a Ziggs, being pushed this far back. And in the top side now where it was really working, Kwaku behind 10 CS, and Swathe is back up here once again. No ult for Kwaku, the Vanguard's edge will disarm him. They can dive here. Swathe, the one to challenge it, collateral damage available, and there it goes, with Panda to help finish off the kill.
The tower is dead here. Omni comes up to solidify that fact. They could even potentially go to Rift Herald here, especially if Alani shows himself bot lane. And again, they're finally getting objectives. It's all about getting things off the picks, making sure they take objectives, start moving around the map. I'm sure Panda will be more than happy to get out of this lane. He's been struggling the best of times in the 1v1 to the point that Swathe has had to be up there 2, 3, 4 times now to alleviate that pressure and get the turnaround kills. And he's been able to do that because of the work he got down bot lane early.
But what have we seen tonight, T-Gun? A Graves that gets ahead stays ahead. Swathe is 4-0. And he is 1,100 gold up on his opponent. Swathe has gotten the start that he needs. Every other lane finds itself ahead here on the Rift. And topside especially, even though Panda has been hit pretty hard at the start of the game, that kill, those assists, and that CS is going to help make a difference. Stunned up, Chungy. Oh, Lord. Look at that turret.
Well, they're getting mid lane tower just by Omni's pressure alone. They also get Rift Herald, and now the bot lane sort of rotating mid here. Isla walking all the way up, Farmer just making sure there's wards in the jungle. I would not be surprised to see the Rift Herald saved until second tier mid by this point. I'm sure Omni, just through lane presence alone, can get the turrets pushed forward and get that tower. Now, you asked me a few games ago, what is Rift Herald really worth? Where do you want to put it, if not mid? And unless you can get 2 turrets in a lane, like potentially in bot lane.
Extension there, Demon Flare not going to be popped just yet. Mega Inferno Bomb, but Farmer ready to go forward. Styled has to be careful. Farmer unfortunately won't be able to pop it until now. The Chiefs Academy, they still get the bottom lane, they still get one.
Now, I was saying potentially you can drop Rift Herald in bot lane and look for 2 turrets, and it would be off the back of a pick like that. If Swathe was down there, that's the time to drop it.
It's back.
Omni takes the mid tower, the return of the big turret.
I can't stack that one, it's going to take too long. But it will eventually go down. Mid lane turret broken. And everything's coming up Millhouse for Chiefs Academy.
Some of the references, man, they're doing me in.
Why? Because it's old school.
No, I appreciate that one, actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, then why'd you say it's doing you in?
That's hard to respond to a few of them.
You just keep going, you just pretend nothing happened.
Well, I'm trying, man. Trust me.
Is it that hard, eh? Oh, Huey, watch where you step. Isla is 2 levels ahead of this Zyra support. Mobility boots, fully itemized tier, what do you call it? The Eye of Equinox? No. Cyranox? I don't know. It's an eye. And it's a warding item and it's fully built.
I build that all the time. I still couldn't tell you what it's called.
Yeah, I know. No one knows what it's got. This bloody blue eye. The eye of Saruman's brother.
You're struggling, dude.
No.
Ah.
No.
Speaking
Equinox,
of struggling,
thank you, sir.
is Huey in style. Right now, Isla and Farmer can take bot tower on their own, but what I suspect Chiefs Academy are going to look to do is set up a Herald bot lane. If they can get off a gank, Herald can turn that into 2 towers. And you were saying before, why not just always drop it mid? Well, if you can just take those 2 towers bot lane, you can then rotate all of your pressure to the top side to that Baron area. You open up the map so much, and Panda will appreciate that really long lane when it comes to setting up a Baron.
I mean, Panda's... Right now, I think he appreciates his jungler. And in the bottom line, that's a really good gank. Mega Inferno Bomb land perfectly. Auto Academy finally getting something back. Farmer will try to survive, but a double kill to Styled, and they answer back big.
Proactivity there, paying off for Auto Academy. I was saying Chiefs Academy would set up to drop the Herald bot lane. Auto Academy obviously knew that was the case, waited until they got the pick with Alani, get the kill, they're going to get the turret, but do they lose mid-turret in reaction to it? Heimerdinger obviously pushes very quickly.
Swaith's there. The Rift Herald is going to expire soon.
He's plenty of time. You don't have to drop it yet.
Okay.
Plenty of time.
Plenty. I think that's 20 seconds, Tiger. 30 seconds.
Plenty of time.
All right. Well, we'll see where he puts it. Anyway, trade for the mid lane tier 2.
Almost certainly bot lane at this point. You can't really drop this mid and hope that you can set up to siege the inhibitor, especially against a Veigar notoriously great for counter-sieging, much like a Nivea. Pushing through them is nigh impossible.
Yep.
But they've already broken both mid towers. They've already done the hardest work that there is to do on this map right now, is break that second tier mid. It's done. Now, as a team, you need to commit to that bot side.
I like the little reminder that Rift Herald gives you now with 10 seconds remaining. Swaith going to walk here and only just get it out.
Told you, plenty of time.
Last couple of ticks. So this bottom lane turret probably going to go down. Response a little bit too late there from Order Academy. And Chiefs Academy already 4K gold ahead by now. It's going to be 5K. And here it goes.
It still does too much damage for my liking.
I think it does enough.
Well, it did enough to kill the tower.
Yep.
Now, I'm not a huge fan of...
Fighting.
I'm not a huge fan of how Chiefs Academy have played this Herald. They used it for a turret that naturally would have fell for them anyway. Now, yes, it was expiring, so they didn't really have a choice. But it felt like they could have grouped. They could have just pushed it down with brute force. With the Morgana, the Heimerdinger was also down there. Is that a little too aggressive? Obviously, in Chiefs Academy's case, yes, they wanted to err on the side of caution, just sit back, make sure you slowly take the objectives across the map, because they have already built up this huge lead. 5K gold at 18 minutes is quite significant.
It is. Baron coming up soon, and one of the most paced games, I think, so far, with both teams not really want to make that next mistake. Let's look at Chungy stacks. That's what we can do. Observer, would you buy... Okay, that's fine.
It is not enough right now.
140, I think. Hey, that's still a bit of AP.
Much like Nasus, until he's able to pretty much run rampant on whoever he wants, it's not enough. You need to be able to pick out someone from Chiefs Academy's lineup, someone that is important enough, and one-shot them. In this case, it would very likely be the Graves.
Yep.
Shutting down Graves in team fights would turn the tides pretty hard for Order Academy, and until Chungy can do that, until he lands a stun and knocks down the Grave with one cycle of all of his abilities, ultimate included, then the stacking doesn't matter.
Well, Chungy does have a bit of gold, and he's got his first item, but that's pretty much it. Whereas you consider Omni almost onto the Morellonomicon. 145 on Vega has just been confirmed in my ear. Thank you very much. But at the moment, one item's all you can speak of. We're at 2 items now on Swaith. Has the Yomu's Ghostblade, so Swaith is just going to pop and delete people left, right, and center. If anyone gets caught out from Order Academy, this gold lead is going to extend, and what was a pretty dangerous lead for Chiefs Academy is going to become immense against Order Academy. So right now, Order playing it pretty safe. However, they're just going to be careful where they stand. Panda on the run, on the hunt, I should say.
Well, this is a point where you're happy to be Order Academy. You just stall out the game. Don't go up too aggressively. Try and make sure they're not doing Baron, but you don't need to take anything. The Dragon not on the map. The Baron is a difficult thing to take.
Being caught out, flashes there, but Spell Immune Swaith just walks past, and collateral damage not even needed. Unstoppable.
I was talking before the game about why you don't see Veigar so often in competitive. It's because of situations like that where you have the counterplay.
Just accept his
Oh my
death.
gosh.
And Swaith with the black shield.
That'll be Baron. Or at the very least, that will be a fight off Baron, the Chiefs Academy win. And from here, with the Baron, I was saying before that it's difficult to siege through Veigar. But with Baroned up minions, it suddenly becomes a lot easier. Now, with Panda in the side lane starting to generate pressure, he's starting to win the 1v1 against the Aatrox as well. This game has become even more difficult for Order Academy to pull back into it. What they need to do now, and I've said it time and time again, is start trying to cheese. Stack pushes. Find a pick. You need to just
Vega,
throw everything at someone and blow them up before Chiefs Academy gets set up in a siege, because if they get set up on a tower, especially with Heimerdinger, who loves just setting up and sitting in a position for minutes at a time with his turrets, it is too late for you. Now that sucks when you're Zyra, when that's all you want to do is set up in an area. let your plants build up and look to poke down the enemy. But that's the world that Order Academy live in. They need to look for a cheeky pick. And if they don't get it off, like, it's Chiefs Academy's game to lose.
Right now, it definitely is. 7k gold lead. This Dragon, probably theirs when they want to take it as well. It's another Cloud to add to their existing Cloud Fire. But Quaku not doing too much here in the mid-game, as things have kind of come to a standstill. Order Academy trying to minimize their losses. There's Baron sitting there next Elemental too. That'll be an Ocean. So they go mid. And it begins. Right now, the member who's doing the most is Styled. He's got 2 kills, almost 2 items. And if anyone's going to help clear these waves, it's going to be the Ziggs. That's the one thing to say. Great wave clear here on Order Academy, but with Baron, it's not really going to matter.
Yeah. Against Baron minions, that great wave clear that you had in Ziggs in Veigar isn't so great. Now, Chiefs Academy, again, doing the patient thing, the dedicated, I want to say smart thing at this point. Just rotating around the map, taking down the inners. You don't need to sit on that inhib tower and siege it up. Go take all the standing gold on the map, clear out your opponent's jungle, just squeeze out every ounce of gold that you can before the Baron finishes, and that's where you start looking for the bigger things.
Almost good pick there from Quaku, but he's gone too far forward. Delete turn. Yeah, I was about to say good aggression until it wasn't.
I mean, that's how it always is, right? When you play against a team that is really fed, is quite accelerated in terms of the goal they have, is you are at such a dangerous point where it looks great until it absolutely is not.
Omni's got the Black Shield. You can walk out, Omni. You don't have to stay in there. Mega Inferno Bomb bursts him down a little bit, and that dissuades the push any further.
It dissuades the push, but on the bot side, Panda's grabbing the other inner. They're getting all of the standing gold. They've taken out all of the jungle camps, so there's nothing Alani can get. He is being put further and further behind the Graves, and you didn't really think it could get much worse for him. Well, it can, and it has. Now, with only inhibitor turrets standing, and no more Baron left, Chiefs Academy, yes, they have a huge gold lead, but pushing through Ziggs, pushing through Veigar is still difficult.
We'll see where it progresses.
Actually, Morgana still has enough Baron that they could probably get another wave in here mid.
I mean, everyone has enough Baron Tig, they all get it at the same time.
Was I wrong?
No. No, you weren't. Sorry, I'm just, like, correcting you. It's alright. Just don't look at me like you're going to kill me. Thought we worked together.
Oh my gosh.
Chiefs Academy, they are still stealing things away. Verging on the outside of this base, and now for Order Academy, it's about holding them off, holding them at bay. Still great pick potential, but who's it going to be on? The turret's there. Already one bites the dust. Styled almost dies as well. Swaith just jumps on in. A couple ultis burn with the TP, and Chiefs break the base.
I was about to say, it looks like they're being a bit too greedy. You know, Panda going bot lane instead of just grouping up mid and brute forcing it. But even without him, the second someone gets caught by any ability that Farmer can then chain off, they die. The Zyra blown up. Swaith goes in, puts out a lot of damage over the remaining members. Chiefs Academy now, they reset and should look to siege the final play of the game. You go back, you get elixirs on people. You say to everyone, just buy the most impactful item you can, and let's go sit in a lane and push it down. Use the mid lane as a 6th person. Panda sits bot on the...
Oh, he's got the stun Mega Inferno Bomb, but he goes golden. Alani running away from the turrets. Styled can't get any closer. Look at attempt by Alani.
Now, Omni still has teleport, so even though he did just get chunked out, as long as his team sets up in topside, recalls, teleports back in. You have Panda in bot side, you have mid being the 6th man, and suddenly it's so difficult for Order Academy. They can't just have Quaku bot lane. Panda, at this point, massively wins the 1v1.
Yeah.
And we're about to see it.
Quaku gonna get a surprise when a level 16 Aurelia jumps out, and here he comes. Quaku may have the ulti. He's gonna burn it nice and early. So look at the rotation. Everyone from Order wants to help, but Quaku ulti all the way down.
That's enough of a win for Panda already. Now no ultimate on the Aatrox. He can't manage to go in aggressively, either on the Aurelia or on the 4-man unit of Chiefs Academy whenever they siege up. They could even wait for Baron, but to me that is too passive. You have a huge lead here. There is no reason you cannot end the game. If you're going to sit around for Baron, sure, you won't lose the game, but there's no need for it.
They sit top. Baron coming up nevertheless. The same time as Dragon. I guess there's one highlight you can look at. If Auto Academy gets Swathe, the damage is minimized greatly.
Yep.
That's one member who's taken a lot of the resources. Is 3 items up. Of course, everyone else is accelerated there from Chiefs Academy, but as they go for the last defense here, Hextech Ultimatum on Omni. Way too quick. Alani, none of his team were there. The Wild Thorns used too, and Chiefs Academy, meanwhile on the bot side, Chungy gets double killed by Panda, and I think that's Red Rover.
So Alani tries to go in, tries to get something happening, but Chiefs Academy on the bot side,
my lord,
with Swathe and Panda, were also winning through the bot lane. And Auto Academy just drawn too thin, had to spread out too much, and it wasn't enough.
And a big victory there for Chiefs Academy. Look confident all the way through. Auto Academy trying their best, but like the last game there, Chiefs Academy showing their might.
Again, the whole game, never in doubt. Never in doubt for Chiefs Academy.
No.
Couple picks here and there, but Swathe, so impactful early on. I want to say, you know, yes, everyone in the game did well, all of them played well, but Swathe, he won them bot lane. Then he won them top lane. The only lane he didn't just go in and win was mid lane.
Yeah, no, I like how both in this game and last game, you know, we're kind of looking at perspective, right? For Darksided and for Auto Academy, there's that perspective of challenging to a point where, okay, a little bit of discomfort at one point. But apart from that, always on the back foot and trying some new picks, which is great. But it's just really hard when you get up against teams like Chiefs Academy and you're saying, right, they can read our every move.
Yeah, they even tried to find picks, to find sneaky things in Chiefs Academy. They just they played so I don't want to say passive, but they didn't take many risks. They weren't able to be caught out.
Yep.
The only one that was even almost caught out was Omni in the top lane, and he's Heimerdinger. So the second you're caught, you drop your turrets, Zonias, and when you're that far ahead, the enemy team, they can't even commit to that.
Well, pretty straightforward again. Game 4 over Red Rover. Let's look at those results there up on the board for you, because after this week, I can give you one guarantee. Intuition are in the top 6. I do not need production to tell me that. I can tell you right now that they will not lose top 6 position.
Well, they guaranteed top 2.
Thank you, production.
They are guaranteed top 2. The only team that could overtake them is Chiefs Academy. And Chiefs Academy would need to beat them. They can't maintain even because Intuition have their head-to-head.
Of course. So, Intuition top 2, guaranteed. Chiefs Academy top 6 as well. I'm going to go that far too. But right now, a lot of teams trying to maintain or at least push ahead. Mprox and Diacups today, they're sitting neck and neck. Another surprise, I have to say. Tegan, what's your surprise? Go for it.
As easy as it is to say Intuition Chiefs Academy top 2, the midfield is so packed together with a lot of teams 6 and 4, but even behind them, QT Tigers, Avant Academy, Legacy Genesis, all easily able to make a run for that top 6, and it's going to come down to the head-to-heads.
Do you remember at the start when we looked at Legacy Genesis at the bottom? We said, look, Legacy Genesis might not have what it takes to get up there. Now 4 and 6, they're on the trail.
They're making them out. They're making the move. They need to win out. It's as simple as that. They can't afford to drop another game, and they need to win important matches for the head-to-heads.
Yeah.
Because it is going to come down to that. At this rate, you have so many teams all congested in this small area. If they start dropping games versus their competitors, versus someone like Mprox or Crimson, someone they haven't beaten, I'm not sure who they have left in the next few games, it's really going to hurt.
Well, we'll find out. Next week is week 11, and in next week lineup, again, every game counts. You see what I see? The Mammoth and QUT Tigers game has a lot of waiting. The Order and Legacy Genesis, even more.
And Diacups and Crimson Gaming as well.
Why is that on a Wednesday?
Well, the schedule was decided at the start of the season.
Bad RNG, unfortunately, Tegan.
Unlucky.
We might have to start casting those.
But you have so many games that are just so important when it comes to the final standings. And even the ones that aren't between top teams still have impacts.
Yep.
If Ground Zero managed to pull the Hail Mary and take down Intuition, suddenly Chiefs Academy, they can push for that #1 seed.
Well, I think next Thursday is going to be huge. Probably define who else could join Intuition and Chiefs Academy. We are only a couple of weeks away, but you know what you're looking forward to tomorrow? It is the return of the OPL for Week 6. And our shadow matchup from tonight, Order and the Chiefs, will be the very last game on Saturday.
Order 1 point ahead of the Chiefs, and that's not something you would have expected.
After the tectonic discovery. But Tectonic got beaten by Mammoth. I got a good tip for that, by the way. I'm
Wow,
back up, 92.
The Mammoth guy tipped Mammoth.
No, it wasn't that. I just knew that Mammoth would come and, you know, walk away with it. This is ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. I never get to finish on the solo shot, but that's absolutely fine. We're going to be back with you next week for more OCS. You can check out all the VODs on YouTube. They're going to be uploaded today, tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see you next week.